We're just minutes away. It's Syracuse and Towson here this afternoon at Minnigan Stadium. Right now, let's check in with Quint. Here's the last facts.
Lacrosse is a game of one-on-one confrontations. Defensively, there are four main checks that you will see. First is the poke check, where the defender slides the stick forward to poke the ball out of the offensive player's stick. The second and most common is the wrap check. It's where you slap the ball from the head of the stick. The third is a back check. It's where the offensive player is showing too much stick behind him. He's not doing a good job shielding it. And the last is a dig. It's where you poke and lift behind the player. Ball's on the ground.
All right, there he is, a man of many uniforms, Quint Kessenich, all dressed up with no place to go.
It's not as cold today, thankfully.
Let's talk a little bit about the starting lineups first for the Orangemen from Syracuse.
Well, it starts with their attack. Syracuse University has always had great attacks. Kataya and Powell really lead the unit, with Devin Darkangelo being the primary shooter inside from Corning, New York. But again, Kataya will be a great finisher inside, and Powell loves to handle the ball behind the cage. At the midfield, they have a freshman, Josh Kaufman. Glisker's in the lineup for Soliday, and Matt Keone from Yorktown, New York. He's a guy who can run up and down the field with the best of them. Defense, they've got some size on defense. Rule, about 6'5", 230. Marshall Abrams can run up and down the field. He's great on ground balls. And Billy St. George is a freshman. Look for Towson to try to take advantage of him. And Rob Mulligan in the goal, the sophomore from Farmingdale, New York.
So the Orangemen 3-1. Their only loss last week to Hopkins. Towson comes in, Keith, 3-0. But this is their first major test.
First major test, Scott, but they do have a lot of experience, especially on the first-team midfield and attack. The attack, as we said, features big number 33, Danny Ross, 285 pounds. He's a nose tackle on the football team. He's from Towson High School. Kevin Sturms, a senior from St. Mary's, and Spencer Ford, who we just highlighted, he's a senior from Towson. First-team midfield strong. Todd Paradise, All-American candidate from Falston High School, another Harford County product. Keith Smith is a junior. He's number 14. And Steve Price, a senior from Calvert Hall, rounds out the first midfield. Big test for the close defense today. John Campbell, senior from Oakland Mills. Mike Matcher, and sophomore from Mount Hebron. He'll probably draw Ryan Powell or Kataya. And Chris Ansleone, who is a senior co-captain, number 30, from Freeport on Long Island. And in goal, number 5, sophomore John Horgan from St. Mary's, who will be tested today.
All right, so there you have Tony's Tigers. Turning out to be a nice afternoon. Have some good lacrosse in front of you. It's Towson against Syracuse. A face-off coming up next.
This is a great time to refinance. Just ask Joe. He got a home loan that paid off his credit cards, saved him hundreds of dollars a month, and gave him extra money to finish the garage and rebuild the deck. For making payments on time, he'll get automatic rate reductions that save him even more. That's the Back on Track plan. It works for Joe. Just think what it could do for you.
The Money Store. 1-800-LOAN-YES.
Welcome back to Minnigan Stadium. Scott Garceau, Keith Mills, and Quint Kessenich with you. You see part of the crowd here. Best weather we've had on a Sunday for our game of the week, right,
it's
guys?
a beach. This is a balmy,
no snow drifts.
It's a balmy 50 degrees with wind blowing right in their face, but you know what? It's dry.
Here you see Tony Seaman as Tony gets his, as you said earlier, Keith, the real test. The Tigers 3-0 with wins over Boston College, Vermont, and Hartford.
Yeah.
Ready to go, the face-off. Jason Deneker for Syracuse and Justin Berry for the Tigers. Syracuse in orange, Towson in the white jerseys. And the ball goes orange way.
Hey, good hustle there from Steve Waltman, number 43, big long pole midfielder. You'll see him on defense probably in this possession, Scott, and this is where Tony Seaman is really concerned. I think his defensive midfield needs to step up today. Quint play a real strong game.
Towson believes that they can score goals against Syracuse. The question is, can they play good defense? Last year, their defense gave up a lot of goals. This year, I think they'll play better team defense. They'll have better concepts, and they'll protect their goalie, Horrigan, who I think is a real quick, real solid goalie in the net.
Tim Burns gives it up. Back behind the goal. Kataya, 16 goals on the season. Gives it up to Ryan Powell. You hear him yelling switch down there. And Towson intercepts the pass. Here come the Tigers in transition.
Yeah, Scott, that's Steve Waltman, who I just talked about with the long pole. Nice defensive play. Tony was telling us before the game that his team would play some zone today, but that time they started out in man-to-man.
Waltman really has an eye for the ball. Coming into this season, he had 100 ground balls last season. He gets his stick on the ball. He makes a lot of plays for the Tigers.
Well, on the attack for Syracuse, Kataya, Powell, D'Arcangelo up front on the attack. Kataya with 16 goals, Powell with 10 and 15 assists. So they put up some numbers in only 4 games. If you don't score double digits, you usually don't have a chance to beat Syracuse.
That's a fact, and you have to control tempo, which I'm sure Tony Seaman not real happy about that first turnover. You get the ball, you want to protect it.
Ryan Powell with the ball, a whistle. Clearing out with the off arm.
Yeah, you never see that in lacrosse, do you, Quinn? Especially from one of the Powell brothers. Of course, his brother Casey Powell, player of the year last 2 years.
Now the Tigers turn it over. Here comes Syracuse back at them. No score, just underway. Milligan Stadium. 5th-ranked Syracuse against Towson. Shot up top is knocked down. Unloading for Syracuse, number 44, Tim Glasker. Glisker is filling in for Brian Soliday, who they fear may have mononucleosis, running some tests on him, but he's out today. There's the big guy, Keith.
The big unit, number 33, Danny Ross. And another turnover from Towson. And Quint, right now, Towson cannot get into their offensive set. As you see, number 16, Steve Price.
They're doing a decent job on defense, stopping Syracuse, blocking some shots from the outside, but that's 2 turnovers in a row in the middle third of the field. Syracuse, their orange jerseys, very athletic. They'll play you all over the field. You've got to run away from pressure and handle, much like when you're trying to bring the ball up the court in basketball against the press.
Josh Rule with it. A long stick into the attack zone. Now steps back and throws it away. Try to get it to Chris Cordisco and turnover.
Yeah, and again, pressure. And Quinn, I thought you brought up a great point. The SUNY Penn or the William Avery of Towson is Spencer Ford, who's yet to touch the ball. That time, Danny Ross, the possession before this, got caught at midfield, which is not where you want him to be.
No, and their attack has to be active. They've got to swing up the field and help out as the midfielders or defensemen bring the ball over.
And the strength of the Towson team is their midfield. Tony will run 3 groups through there. Todd Paradise, Keith Smith, and Steve Price, the top unit. And that's Keith Smith with the ball right now.
It's got real important offensive possession here. Towson yet to get a shot. I think Tony wants to really establish some offensive continuity on this possession here.
Smith gives it to Danny Ross.
Hard to miss him.
Yep. There's over 500 pounds on the field in that matchup right there. Rule goes about 230. Danny Ross about 270. That's a 600 pounds.
Smith and Paradise playing catch.
Yeah, we did the Towson Morgan football game at this very field back in September. Danny Ross played a real strong game as nose tackle. But this is a whole new ball of wax here.
Good look there. Ross in some traffic. Gives it up. Kevin Sturm, the Sturminator, they call him. Shot behind the goal, back in front, and a score. Good feed as they got it back in front, and Towson takes the lead. The goal from Todd Paradise.
Yeah, Scott, Todd Paradise from Boston High School. Put a great play, Quint, from Kevin Sturm, who was right where he should be on that first shot, backed it up, and did nothing more than find the open man.
Watch the replay. You'll see the first shot bounces to number 7, Spencer Ford, who finds Paradise in front. Towson really doing a nice job in the scramble situation. Sturm with the original feed. The shot goes wide, and Spencer Ford, he's there at the right time. The main assist man from last season gets Towson on the board first. Excellent offensive possession, multiple shots. They had Syracuse on the ropes, and they got a goal.
Now a whistle, and the ball goes to Towson. Tigers with a 1-0 lead, 11:21 to play in the first quarter. Syracuse 3-1 on the year. Towson 3-0. The Orangemen, with their great tradition of national championships, now coached by John Desko, took over for Roy Simmons Jr. Still have Roy Simmons on the bench, but it's Roy Simmons III, an assistant coach.
And Roy Simmons Jr. is here today. He travels with the team. Of course, his father, Roy Sr., kind of started the tradition at Syracuse.
There's a shot on goal, but knocked out of there. David Cummings with the shot.
Yeah, Scott, one of those many midfielders you're talking about from Loyola High School that Tony Seaman will play today.
That was a nice save by Mulligan. Remember, both goalies are left-handers. You want to shoot the ball as far from the goalie's stick as possible, and that time Mulligan got down and deflected the ball wide.
Quint, is that uncommon, the left-handed goal? Are you going to see a lot of left-handed goalies?
I always thought it was an advantage if you were a left-handed goalie.
Kataya gets stick-checked and harassed behind the goal by Chris Anzalone.
Yeah, it shows you his strength, though, Scott. He got nailed and just kind of knocked him off his stride a little bit, regained his composure, and kept the ball. Kataya, big-time player for Syracuse.
There's a shot wide of the mark.
Of course, anytime you mention Syracuse, Quint and Scott, you mention the Gate brothers and Tom Marichek, and the Powell brothers have kind of taken the baton from them. Casey Powell, player of the year last 2 years. Ryan now with the ball is just a junior.
Working for some space and a big check. Player down and ball down, but Syracuse retrieves.
Boy, that was a wicked hit from Anzalone. You mentioned Danny Ross as a football player. That was a football player kind of a hit.
Trying to find some space for Syracuse. That was Devin D'Arcangelo.
Towson's really helping out each other well defensively. They're moving their feet and getting those quick double teams.
One thing you won't do, Scott and Quinn, is shut Syracuse out. But if you make them work and make them, you know, at least extend some effort in the offensive zone, you have a chance.
In close to the crease, and the save is made.
Yeah, Ryan Powell was right there, Scott, but Horgan with a nice play, Quint.
He really held his position well. Studied his film, too, because Powell likes that fake low, shoot high. Last week against Hopkins did that move a number of times, but Horgan, one of the best prepared goalies in the country, his goalie coach is John. I can tell you, he was ready for that fake low, shoot high.
J.D. Jones gives it up, and the Orange coming in a hurry. And they throw it away. Ryan Powell tried to go wide to the right side and had too much on it. Got a timeout down on the field. 8:52 left in the first quarter. Towson leads Syracuse 1-0.
We're here at Tom's house, the one with a brand new satellite dish he got by calling Bell Atlantic Video. Let's watch as Tom takes his direct TV system for a test drive. There he goes. He's picking up the remote. He's clicking. Yes! Now he's taking control with his interactive program guide. Look at him navigate. With so many choices from DirecTV and USSB, he's finding some programs he couldn't even get from cable for about the monthly cost of cable. And boy, does he love that digital quality picture and sound. Bell Atlantic even installed an antenna for his local stations. Wow.
For your free guide to DirecTV or to place your order, call Bell Atlantic Video toll-free at 1-877-588-BELL. There's no equipment to buy. You rent it all. And Bell Atlantic delivers and installs everything. DirecTV from Bell Atlantic. Let us entertain you.
Here's Ryan Powell taking it to the goal, guys, but Horgan up to it.
The sophomore from St. Mary's, a Dean's List student, and he was just waiting on that high shot. He kind of dropped down low. He's not the tallest goalie, and at the last second, he popped up high to take it away. Tony Seaman has to be happy with the play he's getting from John Horgan, a sophomore, but I believe one of the most underrated goalies in the country. A kid who's really going to improve this season.
And I think he's got to be happy with his intensity level of his team. Boy, they came out really, really aggressive.
Keith Smith trying to get out of traffic. Syracuse, a lot of pressure back there.
Quint, this is where the athleticism of Syracuse, I think, really is
Syracuse is in what's called a 10-man ride. They have their goalie out of the goal playing an attackman, and they push forward to really pressure the ball.
And Horrigan had to finally get it across midfield. Now Towson in the attack zone with a 1-0 lead.
And I think it's obvious that John Desko, as we hear another whistle and another turnover for Towson, but Desko obviously really respects Towson's attack, and the more he can keep the ball out of their sticks, especially in the early going, where Towson might get some confidence, the better off his team will be.
And much like Maryland basketball, he wants to set the tone with that ride. Force the tempo of this game. Get the ball on the ground. Get the orange running up and down the field. That's where they're a real solid team. They're going to score goals in transition.
And they're also going to turn it over, too, which is okay. This team owes anytime you get an end-to-end Scott Racehorse team, you're going to turn it over, but you're also going to get a lot of shots.
Number 16 there for Syracuse, Matt Keone.
Yeah, Scott, he's a racehorse, as Quinn said. He can run up and down the field with any midfielder in the country. He is what you call a horse.
There's a freshman, Kaufman, shoots and scores. Josh Kaufman, one of the top recruits in the nation, scores his 4th goal of the year, and we're tied at the 7:44 mark. Kaufman, a freshman from Carthage, New York. Dave Cottle told me, boy, we took a run at him, but everybody else was taking a hard run at Josh Kaufman.
This is a kid who played attack at Carthage High School. His brother Jason went to Salisbury State. Great player down there. He scored 87 goals his senior year in high school. And watch him here, dodging from the left side, switches to his right hand, and perfect placement. Beats Horrigan to the offside. Kaufman ties it up at 1. One of the most highly recruited players in the country last year.
Against Steve Waltman with a big strip, number 43, long pole midfielder.
Gets it to Justin Berry. Now Towson on the attack, tied at 1, first quarter.
Real nifty work by Waltman, and not only get that ball off the ground, but protect it and dish it off to his teammate. Great job.
Steve Price with it. Towson showing some patience now, trying to run the offense. Oh, a big hit there. Huge hit from Josh Rule in Syracuse. Upfield.
Yeah, Scott, here's Marshall Abrams, who Quint alluded to in our pregame. He can run up and down like a midfielder, and he's showing his stick work right there.
They got it out in front. Kaya couldn't put it away.
That was an amazing move by Marshall Abrams.
Yeah, he's a defenseman, and he ran up and down the field like a midfielder, a short stick midfielder.
Little split dodge. Unbelievable. Right to left move.
Ryan Powell trying to work in, but he gets dumped. Powell taken down. Good defense by Macron.
Yeah, Matra, number 25, he's got his work cut out for him. Tony Seaman said today he will take either Matt McIntyre or Ryan Powell one-on-one when they do play man-to-man. That time he was up for the task.
Towson loves to get out and play. Both Anzalone, Campbell, and Macron, they'll step out and throw checks. We've seen a bunch of turnovers behind the cage. I think they've caught Syracuse off guard a little with their athletic ability.
Well, under Carl Runk, who was Tony Seaman's predecessor, Towson always came at you. Very physical, especially in the 90s when he really got some horses out there, and this team just kind of transcends that.
Pass in front. Price off the pipe.
Good look from Paradise again, number 11, who's from Falston High School. And I think if you ask Tony Seaman of all the guys that he is really impressed with, he'll tell you Todd Paradise. I know last year when he was at Hopkins, he really didn't like the matchup he had with Paradise on the field for Towson.
Paradise is a superb athlete, right-hander, ricocheted that ball off the pipe. Watch this ball kick about 60 yards off the pipe. It's traveling about 95 miles an hour. Has Mulligan beat and bounces all the way to the midfield.
And Horrigan up for that task, Scott. Nice save.
Yeah, D'Arcangelo fired from close range.
And it looked like Quinton Towson went to a little zone on that last possession. We'll see if they stay in it. Looks like they're back in man-to-man here.
Ryan Powell trying to work his way in front. Got a body on him. There was a shot by Cordisco, but he didn't have the ball.
Yeah, he didn't have the ball. And Jay Horowitz comes up with the loose ball. Horowitz, a defensive midfielder, making a run here in the offensive end.
Now he steps back.
Almost looks like a chess match so far, guys, with each coach trying to exploit the other team's weakness, which is obviously the nature of coaching. But really, it looks like Syracuse really trying to take the attack of Towson off the field.
Now Towson gets it into the attack zone. David Cummings.
This is the second midfield unit for Towson. They like to invert their midfielders, get the ball behind the goal, keep your eyes out in front of the goal, and set a lot of picks.
J.D. Jones fires off the mark.
Okay, looks like you got a little opening there. J.D. Jones, a junior from Janesville, New York, DeWitt High School.
That's Syracuse territory, Janesville, DeWitt.
Yeah, how did he get out of there?
Timeout down on the field, 4:56 left in the first quarter. It's Towson 1 and Syracuse 1. Back right after this.
Hey, there we are.
Meet local high school athletes who have what it takes on and off the field. Watch Prep Profile.
Tuesdays at 6, brought to you by your friends at Toyota. Toyota, every day.
The National Collegiate and NCAA Division III Women's Lacrosse Championships are coming to historic Homewood Field on the campus of Johns Hopkins University, May 14th through the 16th. The action begins with the Division I semifinal games on Friday evening, then the Division III semifinal games on Saturday, and Division I and III championships on Sunday. All seats are general admission. Tickets are $15 and include all events. For more information or to order your tickets, call 410-516-7490.
The Heritage Winter Clearance is on. We're seriously overstocked with too many cars. Spring shipments are on the way. At Heritage, you'll need no down payment. Just sign and drive or make no monthly payment till June. Don't pay too much. Save at the Heritage Winter Clearance on now.
Today's history-making game, coverage from Cuba, tonight at 6:30.
We're back at Minnigan Stadium. Towson and Syracuse tied at 1 first quarter. Under 5 minutes left. Towson on the attack.
Good shot of the crowd here. Pretty good crowd. Sunday afternoon. It's very chilly. It's nice defensive play again by number 7,
Billy St. George. Yeah, he's a freshman.
The freshman.
Whistle.
Spencer Ford inside, number 7, probably touched the crease line there. You're not allowed in the crease.
Another turnover for Towson. That's got to be at least 5. I don't think they keep a turnover stat, but
Mulligan had to go up the ladder to get that pass back.
That's going to be a loose ball push against Towson. Syracuse will maintain possession. Both teams with an unusual amount of turnovers.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's maybe Quinn, a lot to do with emotion, especially for Towson. You know, obviously they came up very aggressive. This is a big game for them. Their first 3 wins were against teams they were supposed to beat. And, yeah, you see the turnovers. And we do keep them. Well done.
15 turnovers with 4:20 left in the quarter, so that's a load.
Emotion can make you do a lot of things in any sport, and it can make you just to be a little over-aggressive, and I think that's what the case is right now with both teams.
Towson now shifting into a zone defense.
Zach DeWaters with that last shot that sailed over everything. That was out of this world.
Of course, Syracuse lost last week to Hopkins, which... and you know they were challenged in practice this week by John Desco.
Well, they've gone, Keith, almost 3 quarters now and scored 3 goals, so that's very un-Syracuse-like. Only 2 in the second half against Hopkins, and they're sputtering here in the early going at Towson today.
Well, you know, you lose a guy like Casey Powell, and you think, well, you know, it's you know, they had so many other weapons as a point-blank shot there that Oregon may have gotten a stick on. But you don't replace a player like Casey Powell. It's impossible.
That was better execution. Last week they were caught off guard by the Hopkins zone defense. You had to think this week in practice they spent some time working on it. That last play they had Keone cutting down the middle of the field. He was wide open. He missed the layup.
Keone with it right now. Wants to have that one back.
Historically, Syracuse has struggled against the zone defense. Many years teams played 90% zone against them because you couldn't match up with the great power and speed of the Gates brothers and guys like Casey Powell, as Keith was alluding to earlier.
Now, looking at numbers on Ryan Powell, last year Casey Powell had 44 goals, 126 shots. Ryan Powell, 37 goals on 83 shots. So he can line it up. Oh, yeah. 73 points compared to his brother's 78. So he's kind of the go-to. He and Kataya now.
Absolutely. One thing about a zone defense, as we're seeing now, you will get some shots. Whether you can, you know, finish them off it remains to be seen, which Syracuse has not done, but they are getting some shots.
How do you break down the zone? Similar to basketball, Quinn?
You've got to force a double team like that right there.
And a penalty marker down. Powell got inside.
Powell got inside. I think the penalty's going to go on
Towson.
But wasn't Powell in the crease, or was he pushed in the
I think
crease?
he was pushed in the crease, and I think because he had possession of the ball, that's why it's going to be a 30-second foul. We'll see our first extra man of the day.
Extra man, very interesting for Towson. I know they haven't played a heavy schedule. They have killed all 20 extra man their opponents have had. They're 20 for 20.
That's the push right there. Powell in the crease. This is a 30-second foul.
Syracuse with extra man, 9 of 22, 41%. The Orange trying to break a 1-1 tie.
This is where the stick work of a team like Syracuse really helps you. You see the behind-the-back pass right there from number 16.
Keone got it down inside to D'Arcangelo. Here's Keone again. Oh, lost the ball. Syracuse comes up with it. Now the long stick of Towson. Number 19 for the Tigers, John Campbell.
A good defensive set there.
Look out, loose in front.
That'll be a 10-second violation against Towson. Failure to get the ball out of the defensive box in 10 seconds. So nice hustle by Syracuse. In that case, when Towson's scrambling, you just want to chuck the ball down the field. Just send it 60 yards down the field.
Particularly when you were a man
zone.
down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Quint, does it help you when you're playing a lot of zone when you're man down? Because basically that's what you're going into in that situation.
Yeah, they have the same concepts, playing man down defense and zone defense.
Behind the goal, and that'll get away.
Two good defensive sequences by Towson. Again, Tony Seaman has to be pretty happy with his early defense.
If they can keep Syracuse on the perimeter outside about 12 yards, their goalie, John Horgan, is going to make the majority of those saves. They've got to protect the middle of the field and get the loose ball when it's down. They're going to sacrifice time of possession by playing a zone.
Under 2 minutes left now in the first quarter, tied at 1. Todd Paradise with the Towson goal, and Josh Kaufman, the only scorer for Syracuse.
And a real good clear that time. Quinn looked like the best, most fluid clear they've had so far today.
This is Todd Paradise with it. Comes back to Keith Smith. On the right side, Steve Price.
Both Paradise and Smith, Scott, from Harford County. Carl Runk, not afraid to go up to Harford County. They're producing more and more players year after year. He tapped into that rather rich, fertile area of lacrosse talent. Well, the whole Baltimore area has exploded. Howard County, two defensive players for Towson from Howard County schools. I saw Kyle Campbell from Loyola a couple weeks ago.
Stern behind the goal. Ross setting the pick.
I'm surprised at how little Spencer Ford has controlled the ball for Towson.
Tough pass through two men, and the speed there of Marshall Abrams runs it down again.
Abrams, a good one, 6-foot junior out of Nedrow, New York. Preseason honorable mention All-American. Another one of those guys. He was an all-county hockey player.
Yeah, all-county hockey player. His uncle played for Roy Simmons years ago, but again, Quint, a wasted offensive possession for Towson without a shot.
Keone tries to sneak it inside.
30 seconds! Good time!
There's a shot in the goal. So Syracuse takes the lead at 2-1. The goal from Matt Alexander.
Yeah, Matt Alexander, a defensive midfielder who scores right there on what coaches hate when you're playing a zone. Great individual move to break down the defense.
Well, it looked as if Towson never got settled here. Alexander scores his first goal of the season. Really known for his defensive ability, but he's really a sick athlete. Alexander can run up and down the field all day. From West Genesee High School.
Good? Is that good when you're sick?
That's good,
right?
That's good.
Okay.
Fat and sick are good.
Yeah, he's a defensive whiz, but that time showed his offensive ability.
25 seconds left in the quarter. Barry gets the best of the face-off. Shot in front. A little wide of the mark is Mike Murray.
Yeah, nice play. Nice play all the way around, especially from Barry off the face-off. Face-off today, extremely important for Towson.
Try to get it in front. That doesn't click. Cutting across the middle was Kevin Stern. 9 seconds left in the quarter.
Syracuse will probably just launch this ball towards the goal.
9 seconds. They got to do something pretty quick here. 2-1. Syracuse on top.
You may hear the wind blowing in our microphones. It's very windy out here today.
Here's Towson. Shot on goal and a save. Rob Mulligan, a little off balance.
Yeah.
Like one of those knuckleballs, Adam. But that's the end of one. Syracuse leads the Tigers from Towson 2-1 after one.
Furniture, Maryland and Virginia only. Bankruptcy going out of business sale. Sacrifice. The huge selection of fine brand name furniture, bedding, and oriental rugs are being reduced daily for immediate removal. Warning. When it's over, it's over.
We were there when it was still just a game, when winning or losing didn't matter, and a desire to play was all you needed. Of course, that was then. The game has changed, but not our commitment to the cutting edge in lacrosse equipment and merchandise, like the Warrior Odyssey, with product development by the world's best lacrosse players, and the C2 from Sport Helmets, the company that brought you the #1 selling helmet in sports, setting new standards for performance, comfort, and value, while protecting the brains of the game. Back Rack Racing, over 95 years of lacrosse tradition.
Most people can't even afford to find out if they've been the victim of medical malpractice because case expenses can run into the tens of thousands of dollars. So we at the law offices of Stephen L. Miles charge you no expenses or legal fees unless we win your case. To discuss this matter, call me personally, Steve Miles, at 410-685-8444. Let's talk about it.
BT Productions presents Luncheons Meet Luncheons, starring The Temptations, with Harold Melvin's Blue Notes, The Marvelettes, Shirley Boston, Free, Billy Guy's Posters, Sunday, April 4th, in the Mini Theater at the Baltimore Arena.
Well, come on, whole lot of saving going on. Bob Bell.
Now at Bob Bell Nissan, huge rebates, big discounts, low rate financing, low payment. 99 Sentra XE 159, Frontier pickup 4x4 199, Ultima 217, Maxima GXE 292 at Bob Bell Nissan, Eastern Avenue across from East Point Mall.
Come on over, whole lot of saving going on.
Today's history-making games, coverage from Cuba, tonight at 6:30.
All right, the goalies switch ends, and there's some numbers, and the turnovers jump out at you guys.
10 for both teams. That's way above average. Usually an average for a quarter is 3 or 4 turnovers per team. You could see Syracuse was dominating in the shots, although many of those shots are outside shots against Towson's zone defense.
Mulligan played it back to him, and here come the Orange. 2-1 Syracuse after 1. And the first quarter, not a classic with all those turnovers.
Well, you know, it's a lot like the games yesterday in the basketball tournaments. Got good aggressive defense will cause you to play ugly. And it's been an ugly first quarter.
Brian Powell behind the goal for Syracuse. Looking out front, has a man, shot knocked down.
Okay, nice play again from Anzalone, who's been around, very active in front of the net.
Chris Cordisco didn't know where the shot went. He thought it might. Oh, there's a huge hit.
That was Anzalone again.
Boy, he's throwing his body around. And here come the Tigers trying to take advantage right out in front. Shot and a score. Towson, Spencer Ford ties it back up at 2. So the defense created the goal, and Ford took advantage.
Yeah, and Quint, you had a chance to see the firepower that time of Towson. Great stick work from Stern to Ford.
Towson has always been able to sting you in transition, and it usually starts with the defense. Anzalone just absolutely steamrolls. He depletes Cordisco. The ball gets thrown down the field to Ford, and watch the accuracy of this shot. Little stick fake, and he beats Mulligan, who's a left-hander, to the near side. Great accuracy by Ford, triggered by the big hit, the emotional play from the senior captain, Chris Anzalone.
And you mentioned Cordisco. Jeff and Chris Cordisco, identical twins, co-captains, who actually are from Howard County. They went to Glen Elk, then they went to Western Maryland, transferred to Syracuse. I don't know of any other player that's played in Howard County that went to Syracuse to play. And he'll remember that hit.
Wow.
That might be the hit of the year. We've seen some big ones. That might be the biggest.
Well, Keith, Quint said Spencer Ford's got to get more involved. Made a play there. That might get him going.
Absolutely. Any great scorer, all you need is a little trigger, and that might be it for number 7.
You could see the precision of his shot and the patience that he had. Didn't have much angle, but he snuck it in there. Hit about a 3-inch spot next to Mulligan's head.
Good tie. Good look behind the back. Shot from Keone is knocked down.
And Quint looked like Horgan was expecting that shot as well.
Horgan was all over that. He really reminds me of David Linthicum, who played here at Towson in the late 80s, early 90s.
Now the Tigers get it in front. Ross with a shot knocked down.
A big save from Mulligan. Ross was right there, right on the doorstep.
Tied at 2, 13-15 left in the first half.
Danny won't dazzle you with his speed or his stick work, but you got to think if he gets the ball there, Scott and Quinn, he's got to put it in.
That's his job as a crease attackman. He must capitalize, shoot about 60%, 70% from close range like that.
Josh Kaufman with a good move. Kicks it back outside to Keone.
You know, Danny's very similar to Dylan Schlott in terms of
Flag down,
maybe not,
now whistle.
Yeah, maybe not size. No one's bigger than Ross, but in terms of being around the goal, he's got to convert that.
The old school crease attackman.
Yeah.
We've got a hold call against Woltman, who tied up Keone up at the box. So this will be Syracuse's second extra man opportunity.
Looked like he had a pretty good headlock on him.
He was hooking him.
Now the Tigers have killed all 21 extra man attacks from their opponents this year.
This is Keone behind the back, and Horrigan's all over it, expecting that. That is not a bad time to take a behind the back shot because it actually increases your angle.
Makes you think about the next one too, obviously.
So rec league kids, when your coach says don't put it behind your back, I give you permission. Shoot behind the back.
You'll get another phone call on the radio this week.
There's some good passing and shaking and baking and scoring as Ryan Powell gave him about 4 different looks and then just peppered it home.
And that's like giving Michael Jordan a breakaway slam dunk on that one, Scott. You just can't give him that much time.
Powell from Kataya on the backside. Terrific execution by Syracuse on the extra man, all alone in front of Horrigan. 3 fakes, and again, he likes to finish high. He'll fake you low and shoot it high. Good look by Kataya. Nice pattern by Syracuse. Give him a lot of credit.
And it was not a body placed on him throughout that sequence. I know coaches say, hey, you're going to give a goal up, at least make him pay for it. That time he was not touched.
And the 2 guys you really want to cover in that situation are Kataya, number 8, and Powell, number 22. You want to give the other players the shot.
Now the Tigers come shot off the mark.
Yeah, you see Kevin Ford. I don't know if our cameras will see it. Kevin Ford just threw his hands up like, I'm wide open, give me the ball. You see number 1, Justin Berry running off. He had Kevin Ford, or Spencer Ford, wide open on the left wing and did not pass him the ball. Sometimes when you get in a situation that you're not accustomed to, you do things you don't normally do, and that time Berry's got to give the ball up.
It's a 3-2 Syracuse lead. Towson in possession. Pass out front now, loose ball. A whistle and then a hit.
Be a loose ball hold against Syracuse.
It looked like the Towson player his stick was held.
How do you thinking about John Desco, how do you follow a Roy Simmons in 16 consecutive Final Fours, the 6 national championships? He, of course, was a part of that, but that's a tough deal.
Yeah, it really is, especially when he's over there on the sideline. Coach Simmons on the sideline today, but Desco, Quinn, as you said, been here for 20 years with this program. He was a big part of the X's and O's for years.
Keith Smith looking for an opening. Good defense against him. Syracuse shadowing him, Matt Alexander. Let's try it again. Smith regroups. Not very big. A 5'8", 165-pounder gives it up to Price. Price fires wide.
Yeah, Syracuse backs it up, so they'll get the ball. But I think if you ask Tony Seaman, Scott and Quint, 11:30 left in the half. It's a low-scoring game. It's a tempo they can work, and it's a 3-2 game. It's anybody's game right now.
The Towson-Syracuse series, although it's been dominated by Syracuse, if you look closely, it's usually an excellent game for 3 quarters. And then somehow Syracuse has managed to pull it out. Tony wants to keep this game as close as possible for as long as possible.
Of course, the athleticism and the depth of a Syracuse is often the difference in that with any team they play, which was surprising last week when they lost to Hopkins. They're up 8-4, controlling the game. In the second half, they got run off of Homewood Field.
Ryan Powell just scored his 11th goal, shot and a save. Good job inside.
Yeah, Horrigan stepped up against Scott. Tony Seaman told us before the game how he plays is going to determine how his team plays. And right now, his goalkeeping has really been a big difference.
Battle for the loose ball, and Syracuse comes up with it. Marshall Abrams ahead to Kaufman. Kaufman scored a goal early in the game, the freshman.
And another Towson turnover in the midfield area. Where nothing will drive a coach nuts like unforced turnovers in transition. One thing about turning it over on a shot in the offensive end, but you see Lakowitz trying to cross midfield here.
Gallup in goal now for Towson.
Towson Towson with another turnover off that fast break. They had the numbers coming out of the box. D'Alonzo took the feed from Horowitz. They had a 4-on-3. He went for the through pass out of bounds. And now they're forced to play defense again. So Horrigan has bailed Towson out defensively with a couple nice saves. They've got to get a little clock, get this defense off the field. Eventually, they'll run out of gas in the defensive end.
Syracuse with the lead and the possession. Ooh, had a man open there, but the pass a little low and wide as Katea tried to cross it over to D'Arcangelo.
Yeah, wide open.
And a timeout called. 9:37 left in the first half. 3-2, Syracuse on top.
In the frenzy of investing and trading, brokers sometimes lose track of what they say. Sometimes they imply results that aren't what you receive. And sometimes they don't deliver the depth of service you expect. Which is why you may want to consider a new kind of independent broker from Lombard Securities Incorporated, where promises that are made are promises that are kept.
Meet John Grieber. This is what he does. This is what he drives. Chevy S10 with armored brake lines. It's rugged, just like John. And now during Chevrolet's Highway 99, it comes with 0.9% APR financing or 1,000 cash back. So John can save his money for more important things, like health insurance. Chevy S10, now with 0.9 APR financing or 1,000 cash back. See your Chevrolet dealer today.
There you see the recent history of this series, and Syracuse putting up some pretty big numbers offensively, Keith.
Yeah, Quint brought up a great point. They wear you down, and then they go for the kill in the fourth quarter.
Tony Seaman's got to be happy with the way his defense is playing, though. 3 goals. We've played about 21 minutes of lacrosse, and Towson's only given up 3 goals to Syracuse, which is very good. This game projecting to be a much lower scoring game than those 5 previous meetings.
Yeah, you know, 2 things I think Tony had to do when he came here. One was to create an attitude where they could play with anybody in the country. And 2 is to go out and get some players that can compete at this level week after week after week, which obviously he did at Hopkins. And that's no disrespect to Carl Runk, who did a magnificent job when he was here at Towson. Him and Tony, very good friends.
Penalty markers down and officials huddling over on the far side of the field.
Towson was offsides on the play. As the long stick took it over, they didn't have a midi on the near side who stayed back. So it should be orange ball.
Towson will remember, Towson fans will remember not too long ago, early 90s, they played for the national championship, lost to North Carolina at Syracuse.
They had a great team back. You can see Towson brings it over. Campbell, and they just go offsides on the near side. They send 7 players over the line. You must keep 4 back on the defensive end. Usually 3 defensemen and a goalie, but middies can interchange.
Saw Tony Seaman throwing his hands up.
Tony has never been one to criticize the officials.
I guess Syracuse stepped offsides with Towson, and that's why Towson maintains possession.
Good sloppy ball handling by Towson.
Not only lost it, but then took a hit in the process. Yeah. Double trouble.
Very physical game today. You know, Syracuse, I think, it's like Duke in basketball. Sometimes they don't get credit for the kind of physical style they can play, Quint, but they can sit in there and duke it out with you if they have to. Pun intended.
D'Alonzo falling down, try to get a shot off, and Syracuse up with it. And here they come in transition across midfield and into the attack zone with the long stick.
Again, Anzalone with a big play. Boy, he's
having quite a day.
He's a strong kid. Look at him just throw his body around.
I think he enjoys the physical aspect of the game.
And you know, guys, the flag goes down again. And if you're Chris Anzalone and you're staring at Katea and you're staring at Powell, this is the ultimate challenge for a defensive player.
Towson cannot foul. They're going to be guilty of a slashing violation on the far side. I think it was Anzalone who just whacked somebody in the back. And this is their 3rd penalty. Penalties will kill them today because Syracuse is so potent with their extra man. They've scored 1 extra man goal earlier, Katea to Powell. Those 2 guys must be stopped. Let the other players shoot. You want to let Cordisco or Keone take the outside shot?
Well, let's see who the Orange go to this time, as they have the extra man advantage here and a 3-2 lead.
And a great
Front, picked off by the Tigers.
Yeah, it's Lakowitz, Scott. He's a defensive midi. He's also the face-off specialist, number 20.
Lakowitz takes it into the offensive end, finds a little seam, and then gets it checked away.
And it gets a little greedy from Calvert Hall. Second time, Quint, one of their midfielders came into the offensive zone, tried to do a little too much.
Waltman almost got it back with a pretty good check. Not a loose ball, and
it's Horgan.
Yeah, Horgan out of the goal, and he's down. Lakowitz pass off the mark. Syracuse trying to dig it up.
It's like a bad movie right now, guys.
Keone. Oh, the shot and the score.
Man,
a howitzer. That was Devin D'Arcangelo, the junior from Corning, New York, and the nephew of Jim D'Arcangelo, the former All-American here at Towson.
Yeah, he's a real good young player. He's a junior from Corning High School, and he just aired this one out, Quint.
20 goals last season for D'Arcangelo. He takes the feed from Keone, and he has time and room, and from about 10 yards, very difficult save for Horgan. Towson guilty of some sloppy passing. They were still a man down there, and they did not get back in the hole and set up defensively. Their attack, Towson's attack, has to do a better job coming up the field and helping their midfielders out. Their midfielders are losing the ball in the middle of the field. They've got to support those players, come up and be an outlet.
And this is the first 2-goal lead in the game, as Syracuse now up 4-2 with under 7.5 minutes left in the half. Almost a chop shot. Over there, Spencer Ford went up.
We're going to have a timeout by Syracuse. Desco, sensing that his player was getting in trouble, called timeout to save the possession.
We'll keep it right here with Syracuse on top 4-2. And you guys have both pointed out, the longer Towson can stay in touch, keep the score down.
And the more confidence they get, Scott, you see Towson's team right there. You know, John Desco, one of the many players who come through the Syracuse program. Jim Brown, who obviously everybody remembers as maybe one of the greatest running backs of all time, as we see some trivia right there.
Named the only Syracuse player to finish his career ranked in the top 5 in goals, assists, and points.
So many good Syracuse players over the years. You could say Paul or
brothers.
Gary Gate, Tommy Marechek, John Zilberti, Todd Curry. Could be Casey Powell. I would say Casey Powell would be the answer.
Powell, yeah.
Because of his balance. There it is.
Casey Powell, sure. That's some points right there, let me tell you. But Scott, Joe Ehrman, who played for the Colts, John Mackey played for the Colts, both went to Syracuse and started football, but also played lacrosse for Roy Simmons Jr.'s father, Roy Sr. So what a history of lacrosse in upstate New York.
How do you go to 16 consecutive Final Fours? That's unparalleled.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Roy Simmons Sr., who was the head coach prior to his son, Roy Simmons Jr., taking over, was the running backs coach for the football team, and then he coached boxing during the winter, and he was the head lacrosse coach during the
laundry
spring.
on weekends.
And so he would have a lot of those football athletes. They would either run track in the spring or come out and play lacrosse.
Well, if you're a defenseman and Jim Brown is heading down full speed in your neck of the woods, duck.
Or John Mackey. There's a tough angle shot for the score. And Syracuse now is really getting after the Tigers. Tim Burns.
Timmy Burns, the junior from Baldwin High School on Long Island. They were up their own defense, and it looked like Towson was a little too condensed. And Burns just scooted down the side and beat Horgan from fairly close range. I think that's where you need to communicate defensively and tell your defenders to step out and play this guy. I don't think they realized how close he was to the goal. Here he is, Burns, left-handed, has time to switch back to his strength, his right hand, and beats Horgan from close range off of that timeout. So nice job by Desco, call the timeout, and they capitalize.
So there's 3 unanswered goals after the 2-2 tie. Syracuse up 5-2 with 6:43 left in the first half.
Yeah, Scott, crucial part of this game, Syracuse with another face-off. A 4-goal lead here is a very dangerous situation for Towson. Can't give this team too much of a cushion.
Hear the wind howling here as we're up on top of Minnigan Stadium. Not a bad day, though, compared to what we've been dealing with the last
balmy. It's rather balmy out here today. It's dry.
Working to the goal is Ryan Powell. A loose ball and a couple of 14s chasing after it.
Boy, they put some pressure on your defense, Quinn.
Out front, double team now. And And D'Arcangelo feels the double team, gets rid of it. Loose ball, bodies down, some checking, and Towson coming in transition.
A nice dish off from Anzalone there again. And again, sloppy passing in the midfield area.
They had the numbers. They had a 5-on-4.
Tim Burns gives it up. Look inside, across, and the shot stopped.
I think maybe one pass too many there, Quint.
Syracuse, the best counter-attacking team in lacrosse. They'll give you a 5-on-4. They make the play. Next thing you know, they have a 5-on-4 going the other way.
Kutaya stopped by Horgan. The double team. Unable to unload for Syracuse was Tim Burns.
John Campbell, nice stick check there from Columbia, Maryland. Oakland Mills, number 19 for Towson. Good job. They think he's their best all-around defender, although Anzalone's playing a great game today.
Yeah, Anzalone has been everywhere. And again, a good defensive, and again, a turnover. Steve Walton can't control. Boy, that's got to drive you crazy if you're coach.
You can't score if you can't get it up the other end, right?
And Scott, you can talk all you want about the offensive firepower from Towson. If they don't have it in their stick, you can't score.
We're going to step out. 5:02 left in the first half. Syracuse leads Towson 5-2.
What's new is Olds at Chesapeake Cadillac. Chesapeake, now the only choice for Oldsmobile.
It's the March Madness Spring Fashion Sale at Bassett Furniture Direct. We've gone mad with March Madness savings, March Madness financing, and March Madness designer service. Save 10% off all new spring fashions, plus make no payments and pay no interest till March of 2000. Get the best of both worlds. 10% off all new spring fashions, free hometown designer service, plus make no payments and pay no interest for 1 full year. March Madness at Bassett Furniture Direct.
Here's a reminder, next week, Easter weekend, Saturday, Towson at Loyola at 1 o'clock. So we'll see you next Saturday on our lacrosse game of the week, and chance to see Dave Cottle's guys. Last time we saw them, they took care of Hopkins.
Impressive. Dave here today, sitting in the stands, scouting Tony Seaman, his good friends team. Big win yesterday over Brown, 13-1.
They were a little sluggish against Notre Dame, and they came back and just pounded Brown. The defense for Loyola and the goaltending, really the surprise of the season, I think. We know they can score goals, but they're getting such great play out of Jimmy Brown. They're playing excellent team defense as a unit. And they really haven't given up any goals. They held Hopkins to 5, Brown to 1.
There's a pass intercepted, and here comes Syracuse.
Marshall Abrams again. We've seen him already a few times, and this is where they are dangerous. But it seems like today, Quint, that they're very
methodical.
Yeah, methodical. Yeah, they're willing to slow it down and attack this defense.
This is Ryan Powell working behind the goal in no hurry. Defensively for Towson there, number 25. That's Matrin.
Yeah, Mount Hebron kid's got Kyle Campbell and Mike Stromberg from Loyola. They all played together in high school. Real strong team.
Hoffman tries to get it in the middle to D'Arcangelo, loose in front.
Great save by Horgan.
What a tremendous play.
I tell you, Horgan's made 4 or 5 really point-blank saves. This could be a lot worse than it is. Only a 3-goal difference, but that's a huge save. You just robbed Kutaya from point-blank range.
Kind of like Andrew Hansen last week for UMBC kept Georgetown in the, or kept the Retrievers in the game against Georgetown.
Kaufman looking out front. Big dive. Nice job by Lakowitz.
Yeah, Lakowitz from Calderhall, second big-time play he's made.
Gives it up this time. And a shot from Sturm is wide right. Good ball movement. They got the shot they wanted that time.
That's exactly right. That's a right play by Lakowitz. You can see the speed. He was being reeled in by the Syracuse player, but managed to find Ford. Down low for the shot, Sturm with a weak angle, but credit Danny Ross with the backup. So that's the kind of transition play that Towson can score, and they need more of that. They're making some defensive stops. They've just got to transition up the field better.
Towson in possession with about 3:20 left in the half, down 3 goals, 5-2, was tied at 2, and then Syracuse has scored 3 unanswered. J.D. Jones behind the goal. Gets a little help there, a screen. Jones with some space, fires down low, and there's a good save on the other side by Mulligan. And Towson comes up with it and scores.
Kevin Sturm actually caught the outlet pass from Mulligan. You can see Mulligan tapping himself on the chest. He made the outlet pass, and Sturm had his stick directly up in the air. And really, Mulligan threw the ball into Sturm's stick. Watch the replay, a garbage goal for the Sturminator, the senior from St. Mary's. Watch it, nice save by Mulligan. When you want to make this outlet pass, if you've got guys in front of you, you got to step around them. You'll see Sturm just catches it on the fly and lays it in for the easy goal, and a big goal for Towson to cut the deficit to 2.
Yeah, psychologically, that could be huge.
And Sturm knows how to score. This kid has scored a bunch of goals, 75 goals in 1996 and 97. He sat out last year with a fractured wrist, but he's back in really top form this season.
7 goals against Hartford, had 3, and a 6-point game against Boston College, so he's a force. Well, 2:53 left, and if Towson can hold their own or maybe improve on their position, they'll feel good at halftime. Back to the midfield, Todd Paradise with it. Paradise takes his time, comes back out with it. Now looks inside, try to hit Keith Smith, who was cutting over the middle. But the turnover gives the ball to Syracuse with 2:29 left in the half. Keith Mills is making his way down to the field. We'll hear from head coaches John Desco and Tony Seaman at halftime. What's Syracuse position at this point, Quint?
They're going to go to the goal as usual. I think they realize this season that the goals aren't going to come as easily in the half-field set. In years past, they had dominating midfielders who could run by you. This season, I think, with Kataya and Powell, they're more of a passing team. And so that's why we've seen more patience.
Right out in front, there's a shot to score. Ryan Powell parked right on the doorstep, and not much of a chance for John Horgan.
Nice job by Syracuse getting the ball behind. I think that was Kataya with the assist on the near side, and Ryan Powell just front swings around the goal, and Towson caught a step behind. You can see the defender had slipped. Horgan came out to try to intercept the pass, but was too late. Easy goal by Syracuse. As I said, I think they're a better passing team this year. They're not as dominating with the ball as Dodgers, but with Powell and Kataya working with each other so well, they're going to score some goals.
Well, it didn't take them long. Towson, as you said, Quint got the garbage goal and got a lift, but Syracuse comes right back, and Powell makes it a 6-3 game now. The Orangemen on top. They're 3-1 on the year. They're only lost to Hopkins. Towson 3-0 with wins over Boston College, Vermont, and Hartford. Little kick there. Towson comes up with it. Had some numbers for a minute, but Ford couldn't get rid of it.
I think Spencer Ford, number 7 for Towson, has got to go to the goal. He's being covered by a freshman right now, Billy St. George, who's really untested.
And penetrating and double teamed and knocked down is J.D. Jones.
He didn't have an outlet. J.D. Jones was triple teamed. He was looking behind the goal for a teammate. Unfortunately for Towson, all his help was clustered in the middle of the field.
1:16 left in the half. After the takedown, Tigers stay in possession. Is Cummings. Lost his footing there. Field in good shape. A little overnight rain. Tony Seaman saying how happy he was with the condition of this field. They've had a tarp down on it. There's some space, but the shot way off the mark. Mike Murray fires high and wide right.
Murray had a step, but 7, Billy St. George, the freshman for Syracuse, got his long stick in there at the last second, deflecting that ball wide. Looks like we're going to have a timeout.
50 seconds left, and what's the strategy here as far as the timeout is concerned? Just make sure you don't get careless?
You can see Tony Seaman yelling at the officials. I'm not sure why. But Towson wants to generate some kind of set play, look for an inside pick, they'll probably start the ball with Spencer Ford, and if I were Towson, I'd do some kind of set play opening up Kevin Sturm, because he's their best finisher from the inside. If Sturm's not there, swing it up top to a guy like Price or Paradise, and have them go for themselves.
Ford really the feeder, right? He can score, but check out some of the scores yesterday, Quint.
Loyola with a terrific defensive effort, holding Brown to 1 goal. Nice game down in Washington, D.C. yesterday. Duke beating Georgetown. Both teams, I think, real solid this season. Then they had a classic game at Hopkins where Hopkins beat Virginia. High-scoring affair, which surprised me. Carolina falling to Maryland. Maryland coach Dick Adele, I think he's got that team playing good ball right now.
And UMBC has the Penn State jinx still working, I guess, right?
Was that 14 straight or something? It's amazing how Penn State can beat UMBC. And Princeton gets back on the winning track with a win over Rutgers. Little upset in the Ivy League. Harvard beating Penn and Yale beating Cornell. 2 upsets. The lower-ranked team won those ball games.
Here at Minnigan Stadium, take a look at head coach John Desko. Takes over. 19 years as an assistant to Roy Simmons Jr. And now Towson on the attack, under 50 seconds left in the half. Pass in front. They got the play they wanted, but Sturm couldn't put it away.
We called that pretty well. Spencer Ford swung behind the cage. They set a double pick for Kevin Sturm. He took the bounce shot and hit the post. Nice play by Towson. Just unfortunate shooting right there.
You sent it down the place to Tony Seaman. That was a pretty good call, Quinn. 30 seconds left. 6-3. Syracuse leads. Mike Murray behind the goal for Towson. Good defense. Body on Murray. 19 seconds left. See the time down in the lower right-hand corner. That was almost high. Double team, and Syracuse does force the turnover. Now a penalty marker down with 5 seconds left in the half.
Joe Sigley, number 24 for Syracuse, outstanding double team. As the offensive player turned his back, Sigley just went and snuck up on him from behind and got the ball on the ground. So crafty defense by Siglia. Anytime you see the offensive player turn his back, you can go, because there's no way that he'll find your player who's open.
Syracuse had a 2-1 lead after the first quarter. They now on top 6-3, and 5 seconds left. There's the whistle, and they're just going to sit on it. So the four-corner offense, and the time has expired here. That's the end of the first half. Syracuse leads the Towson University Tigers 6-3.
Initially coming in, I thought this game would be high scoring. I'm really surprised at the defense we've seen at both ends of the field. I thought this game would be in the upper teens. Right now, it projects to be a 12-6 final.
Big goal by Syracuse, I thought, after Towson got the cheap goal, cut it to 5-3, had some momentum. They came right down and took the lead with the goal from Powell, wasn't it?
Syracuse scored 4 goals in that second quarter, 2 on the extra man, and then that last goal was Powell from Kataya to make it 6-3 to stretch that margin. So that was a big goal going into halftime.
So John Desko crossing the field. We'll go down to Keith Mills in just a minute and hear from the head coach of the Orangemen. And, a lot of turnovers in that first quarter, and then the team settled down a little bit in the second quarter. Let's go down to Keith.
Yeah, with me is head coach John Desko. John, you knew Towson was going to come after you today. They did, but I thought you guys did a real good job of taking their emotion out of the game.
Well, I think we've been a little bit more patient on offense, which we've been trying to do this week. We know that they were going to throw multiple of defenses against us. And I like what we're doing so far. I think we're executing in terms of our movement off the ball, and we're just not getting some of the passes there. If we can get used to what they're doing defensively and start to get some of our passes there, I think we're going to be okay.
Okay, John Desko, the head coach at Syracuse University. We'll be back with more from halftime. Right now, Syracuse leads Towson 6-3. Stay with us.
Sports Lacrosse Game of the Week, brought to you by Lombard Securities, Baltimore's source for independent financial advice, where promises made are promises kept.
For the first time in 40 years,
one baseball team will do what no other team has done before.
the Orioles, the Cuban All-Stars,
the one game that could change the world of baseball.
As the Orioles prepare to play ball in Cuba, 2 News brings you team coverage all week long.
From the excitement to the controversy, arrival to departure, watch history as it happens. It's the Orioles in Cuba tonight on 2 News at 6:30.
Nothing says morning like Dunkin' Donuts. Now get a new omelet for just 99 cents when you buy a large cup of delicious Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Back at halftime, Syracuse on top of Towson 6-3. We haven't had the best of weather, although today not too bad a day here at Minnigan Stadium, but it doesn't matter. Come rain or shine or snow or rain, the lacrosse fans keep on coming. Rick White takes a closer look.
Now, tell me if I'm barking up the wrong pole, but the weather we've had for these TV lacrosse games has been harsh. It's rained. It's been so cold, little kids started drinking coffee. It's made your eyes turn red and your face turn blue. That is, if you were brave enough to show your face. But these are our guys. They're TV lacrosse fans, and they're never green with envy. They laugh at the elements, and they yell for more. So, next time you see our TV cameras at a game, make sure you raise up a sign or you say, "Hi, Mom."
All right, there's some of the fans out here today at Minnigan Stadium. Right now, if they're Towson fans, they're not too happy with the scoreboard because Syracuse is on top 6-3. Quint, interesting to hear head coach John Desco say basically we wanted to play that methodical way on the offensive end and take our time and set things up.
He's got to be fairly happy then because they have showed a lot of patience. They've attacked the zone and they've executed, and he was right. They've missed on some connections. They've got 6 goals, but they've really controlled the tempo of this game and managed to dominate the time of possession.
And now they'll try to work at halftime and figure out a little more of that Towson defense, as you heard Coach Desco say. 6-3 at the half. We'll return right after this.
Our loss is your gain. There is no tomorrow.
Warning.
Levitt's Furniture, Maryland and Virginia only. Bankruptcy, going out of business sale.
Sacrifice.
The huge selection of fine brand name furniture, bedding, and thousands of Oriental rugs are being reduced daily for immediate removal. Hurry to Levitt's Furniture, Maryland and Virginia for once-in-a-lifetime going out of business prices on anything and everything for your home. The best selection, the lowest prices, the greatest savings. What are you waiting for? Yes, everyone's rushing to Levitt's, Maryland and Virginia only for this incredible bankruptcy, going out of business sale. All roads lead to spectacular savings.
Warning.
When it's over, it's over.
Listen. Secretariat, Man of War, Seabiscuit, whispering of races lost and won. You hear it? You hear it?
It's opening day at Pimlico, Wednesday, March 31st. Enter the grandstand free, enjoy $1 concessions, and a free live racing program. Pimlico, where fun finishes first.
We're back at Minnigan Stadium. Scott Garceau, Quint Kesenick, and Keith Mills down on the field. We'll be going back down to Keith as Tony Seaman and the Tigers come back out on the field. Right now, I'd like to take a look at some of the first half highlights. Quint, Towson scored the first goal of the game.
Todd Paradise, the junior from Falston High School, took a feed from Spencer Ford from behind the goal and got Towson ahead 1-0, but Syracuse came right back with 2 quick goals. This is Matt Alexander taking a feed from Cordisco to make it 2-1 Syracuse. Alexander showing his versatility. And then Syracuse, late stages of the second quarter, Powell scores his second goal from Matt Kataya, who has two assists to make it 6-3 Syracuse. Horrigan with some nice job in the goal for Towson with 8 saves. Mulligan has not been tested for Syracuse. He only has 4 saves.
And Kataya, here you see some of the numbers. Syracuse with an edge in shots, 24-16. Ground balls just about even. An edge on face-offs to Syracuse, and both teams with a load of turnovers, 38 turnovers in the first half.
2 extra man goals by Syracuse, really the primary difference in this game. Powell and D'Arcangelo with 2 extra man goals, and because of their time of possession, because they're playing so much offense, it's causing the Towson defense to foul occasionally, and that's when you're going to score some goals. So Towson's got to stay settled in their 6-on-6 defense, avoid the fouls, and capitalize in transition.
Quint, the only player with multiple goals in the first half, Ryan Powell with 2 for Syracuse. He now has 12 on the season, 12 goals, and 27 points on the year. Matt Kataya has not scored. He came in with 16 goals, but Kataya he hasn't scored a goal, but he does have 2 assists, so he is now at 30 points on the year with 16 goals and 14 assists. Right now, let's go back down to Keith.
Yeah, with me is Tony Seaman, head coach at Towson. Tony, boy, you guys gave a great effort. What did you tell them at the half?
We just got to start putting some shots in the goal. I think that's our biggest problem. We didn't get many shots in the first quarter. Second quarter, we did. I think we hit 3 pipes. We had some fast breaks that were throwing the ball away during the process of the break, and then they're taking the ball and going the other way on us in transition. That's really the only transition, and they're a scary team in transition, so we got to stop that. But
John Horgan came up big for you.
Yeah, he's playing well, and defensively, I think we're playing pretty well.
Okay, Tony Seaman, thanks. Big second half left. We'll have that for you when we come back. Syracuse leads Towson 6-3. Stay right with us.
Sports Lacrosse Game of the Week, brought to you by Lombard Securities, Baltimore's source for independent financial advice, where promises made are promises kept.
Seems like everyone is getting ready for Toyota's National Spring Sales Event. Now you can lease a new Toyota 4Runner for just $299 a month. You get the best overall value in its class, loaded with options. Or buy a RAV4 now and get over $1,400 in option package savings. Get ready for a great deal. Get ready for a big adventure. Toyota's National Spring Sales Event at your Toyota dealer now.
The men's NCAA Lacrosse Championships will be returning to Byrd Stadium on Memorial Day weekend. The action begins with the Division I semifinal games on Saturday, then the Division III championship game on Sunday. The weekend wraps up on Memorial Day with a Division I championship game. All seats are reserved. Tickets for all events are $35. Groups of 20 or more are $30. For information or to order your tickets, call 1-800-464-TURF.
It's here again. There's no getting around that. And then you've got all those credit cards, department store charges, your car payment, and none of that high-rate interest is tax deductible. Call the money store. Get a home equity loan. Pay off all your bills. You'll get a tax deduction that could save you thousands of dollars. And next year, you'll have a whole new word for April 15th. Payday.
The Money Store. 1-800-LOAN-YES.
More bad news.
What?
America's Best.
Oh, what about them?
They're selling disposable contact lenses for just $59.99. 2 6-packs for $59.99.
Oh, we can do that. We'll jack up our eye exams to make up the difference. Won't work. Why not?
Because $59.99 is America's Best includes a doctor's eye exam.
What?
Call America's Best at 1-800-2-PAIR and discover the lowest price in sight. 1-800-2-PAIR.
They can watch it. Welcome back to Minigan Stadium. There you see the Orioles in a pitching duel with the Cuban national team.
Whoa.
2-1 in the 8th inning. In the historic game in Havana today, right here. Not quite as historic, but pretty good first half with Syracuse on top of the Tigers 6-3. And big difference in shots in the first quarter. Syracuse with a 15-5 edge, but Towson narrowed that gap to 9-8 in the second quarter, and they're in the game, 6-3.
And they can get on the scoreboard here as they start the second half with an extra man opportunity. There was a foul with about 10 seconds to go against Syracuse. That's why Towson just held the ball, and just a great chance for them to cut the margin to 2.
Saw you down in the sunshine, Keith.
Yeah, it's very nice down the field, not as windy. I think Tony was right on when he said you have to take care of the ball a little bit better and get some more shots.
Well, we looked, Towson has cleared the ball 18 times and failed to clear it 7. So 7 out of 18.
Not a good percentage.
So Towson on the extra man advantage as we start the second half, trailing 6-3. Tigers working around the perimeter. Todd Paradise with it.
Not a lot of movement here, Quinn. Not a lot of cutter.
That's Danny Ross. Out front, and they score.
I guess they didn't need a lot of cutters.
A lot of traffic. Number 16, I believe, got the goal for the Tigers.
Ross to Price inside.
Steve Price.
I bet his nice little pass by Danny Ross. And you're right, they didn't do much movement. I don't know what they were looking for, but they kicked it behind, and Syracuse just gives Price an inch, and he beats Mulligan on a one-touch, really a volley from behind the cage. So an extra man goal, a really crucial play for Towson to score the first goal in the third quarter, cut the margin to 2. They're back in the ball game. They get some confidence. Nice execution on the extra man.
Yeah, it's just like being down 2 at the half instead of 3. 30 goals last year for Steve Price.
Syracuse had the edge in face-offs in the first. Ross takes a shot. He gets dumped from behind.
But Danny pleads his case, says, what did I do? And the referee says, you pushed him. Danny doesn't have to push much.
And you're big, and we're going to keep an eye on you.
Actually, he must not have pushed him because Towson has the ball.
Towson has possession. Here's Paradise streaking to the goal, fires off the mark, and it'll go Towson's way.
Boy, Paradise, a real good-looking player, Quint.
He's fast, deceptively fast. He comes off the bench in second gear. The defender comes out to him, and he just upshifts. He puts it down and accelerates right to the goal.
Missed the 97 season with a knee injury, but that knee looks pretty healthy right now the way he runs and cuts.
Saw one of his high school teammates last week, Chris Ogle, plays for UMBC. You're a little familiar with Boston up there, aren't you there, buddy?
Cougars. Cougar country.
Solid athletic program up there, all the way around.
Paradise working up top. Shifting to the right side, fires and a save. Mulligan up to that shot.
Yeah, it didn't look like he got much on that shot.
2-goal game to come the Orangemen. Back behind the goal, and that one's going to sail out of play, and that's Towson's. Yeah, I'm not sure what.
Either threw it to the ref or thought he had a player cutting towards the backside. You can see how well Syracuse goes from defense to offense. All the players just sprinting up the field. Mulligan laying that outlet pass out.
You know, you have to, if you want to compare them to a basketball team, compare them to Maryland or UConn. I mean, they go from defense to offense as well as any team in the country, probably better than any team in the country.
You know, Tony Seaman talked about the 3 groups of middies that he used, but he says they got to think defense first. It all starts with defense.
You've got to balance the field, balance the floor offensively when your teammate shoots the ball. Conversely, it's in Syracuse's mind. Anytime another player shoots, if you're up top defensively, you're gone. You're taken off.
Towson from the angle, penalty marker down.
It's going to be on the goalie, Scotty. I'm sorry.
Ford took the shot.
Didn't mean to cut you off there. It's going to be on Mulligan for coming out and whacking Spencer in the head.
Little slash action.
Spencer beat his man, and I guess Mulligan, Quinn, sensing that it was a tough matchup situation for his defense, came out and tried to surprise Ford, but it didn't work. Mulligan made the right play. He'll have a seat in the box. He came out to kind of slow up Ford.
Jason Gallup in at goal, and he's a small one, 5'4", 140-pound junior, and he looks like somebody's kid snuck in there.
Scott, 2 years ago, Loyola played Syracuse at Memorial Stadium. Big game for both teams. Jason Gebhardt, the regular goalie, goes out. Same scenario, gets penalized. Gallup comes in and makes 2 huge saves and kind of sparked a big emotional lift for Syracuse. They went on to win the game.
Kevin Sturm on that last shot. Towson trying to take advantage and cut it to 1. Shot, and Gallup's up to it. Loose in the crease.
Nice save.
Boy, that was a bullet.
And you can see how pumped up his teammates are. That's a great save. Offside high. He makes it off the bench on a 45, 50-degree day. Really rising to the occasion.
Roy Simmons said, when you see this guy, you tend to throw high on him, shoot high because he's little, but that's what he's used to his whole career, stopping high shots. Loyola did the exact same thing. If you go downstairs, you ask Dave Cottle, he's probably saying the same thing right now. Don't shoot high on this kid.
Jason Gallup, 5'4", 140. That might be stretching it in the program.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Big heart.
The Muggsy Bogues of college lacrosse, Shante Rogers.
Good pass in front, and a shot off the mark by Kataya, but excellent opportunity for Syracuse there.
It's a deja vu situation. It was a 2-goal lead 2 years ago. Loyola down 2. Same scenario. Goalie goes out. Gallup makes a big save. scary.
Team's back to even strength. Syracuse will get an emotional lift out of that. Backup goalie comes in and makes a play like that. The guys in the bench will really rally behind that play.
And now Golub is running off the field. He's leaving, so Mulligan will come back.
Ryan Powell crossed the field.
But Golub does his job.
This is Devin D'Arcangelo. 6 goals on the year, and that pass picked off, but kind of a lazy pass, and Adam Baxter.
A terrible pass from D'Arcangelo. Nice help from Lakowitz.
Right in front, the Tigers shot down low, and Spencer Ford's really upset with himself.
Yeah, he wishes he had that one back. Oh, on the doorstep.
Kevin Stern made a sensational ground ball play, picked it up at full speed, found Ford on the far side, and he ran himself out of angle there. As an offensive player, you kind of want to curl back towards the middle, increase your angle, take it to the front of the goal.
Danny Ross muscling in. Got a head of steam up, fires from a tough angle. Syracuse up with it, got a whistle.
Danny maybe in the crease, Scott.
Okay, to play on.
And showed a little quickness here, running by Josh Rule, big number 33. His dad, the strength coach at Loyola College, and his brother Stan is an assistant coach here at Towson.
Stanley, a great defenseman for boys Latin and then Loyola College.
6-4, the only goal in the second half scored by Towson. It was 6-3 at the half.
You didn't see Syracuse defense slide or double team Danny Ross pretty aggressively. 270 pounds running at you.
It was like, Mulligan, it's all on you here.
Good thing Golub wasn't in there. That would have been a bad collision.
I don't think Danny would have even seen him.
Keone gives it up for Syracuse. Would have been 290 against about 130.
That's when you come out and you take his legs out and hope he doesn't fall on you.
Shot down low by Keone is wide.
Keone looking to catch Horrigan off guard.
Lakowitz comes back in for Towson.
So far, Towson's done a good job of neutralizing Powell and Kataya. Ryan's been on the board a couple of times, but they haven't been able to really explode.
This is Powell with it right now. Flips it over to Matt Kataya. Kataya is senior, Powell's a junior.
Towson in the zone defense. Syracuse will attack. As their coach said, they'll be very patient. They'll try to execute. They've worked on their half-field patterns against the zone defense.
Quint, Tony Seaman's strength as a coach. Is it the X's and O's? Is it the intangibles that that he brings to the table?
I think his greatest strength is as a recruiter. He has always been an outstanding recruiter. I think B, as an underdog coach, he is sensational. He can rally an inferior team to pull off an upset. Today's scenario very similar. He'll have this Towson team ready to play as he does, and he'll put in a couple wrinkles to keep this game close.
Over the middle, shot down low to score. Matt Kataya, he's a goal scorer. Found some space over the middle, fired low, it looked like near side, and got it past John Horrigan, and Syracuse up 7-4 for Kataya, his 17th goal of the year.
The tendency when you're attacking the zone defense is not to dodge. You generally sit back and pass. That time, Kataya just dodges to the goal himself, draws the double team, manages to protect the stick, and beats Horrigan.
7-4, Syracuse on top.
Try to imagine every major lacrosse association becoming one, bringing you a better game. Lacrosse. There's no I in team, just us. U.S. Lacrosse. Imagine what we can do together.
To join, call U.S. Lacrosse today at 410-235-6882. Get Lacrosse Magazine and the new quarterly Lax Mag for kids, plus other benefits for the player, coach, official, and fan.
U.S. Lacrosse. Make the team a winner.
The Heritage Winter Clearance is on. We're seriously overstocked with too many cars. Spring shipments are on the way. At Heritage, you'll need no down payment. Just sign and drive, or make no monthly payments till June. Heritage Volkswagen Beetles, $212 a month. Heritage Saturn SLs, now $179 a month. Oldsmobile Alero GX or Subaru Impreza, just $209 a month.
We will not be undersold. The only deals we can't beat are the ones we don't see.
Don't pay too much. Save at the Heritage Winter Clearance on now.
Several candidates for our Lombard Securities player of the game, but maybe the play of the game, that save by Jason Gallup, who comes in cold off the bench and knocks down a bullet.
Yeah, and he did, again, not to beat a dead horse, 2 years ago, Syracuse comes in on the attack again. This is where he's dangerous, Ryan Powell.
Behind the back, Powell fires one home. His third goal of the game, and it's a 7-4 Syracuse lead.
And Quinn almost looked like he didn't have to do that, but he had an angle either way, right-handed or behind the head, and went behind the head.
And
tremendous play.
Like his brother, who wore number 22 last season, when these guys put the ball behind their back, there's some velocity on the ball. Most players, when they put it behind their back, they really lose some velocity, but they can just snap it behind their back. Very tough for the goalie. Syracuse scoring off of the face-off, finding Powell in front. A big goal, 8-4. All of a sudden, had Towson capitalized, it could have been 6-5. Next thing you know, it's 8-4.
And we were talking about that save from Gallup as, once again, Syracuse gets the...
Sam Bassett, some good passing in front, but Kataya can't hang on.
Very dangerous off the face-offs in transition. That time,
yeah, that looked like Syracuse there.
Yes, indeed.
Here comes Towson the other way, Jason Berry.
Big possession here for Towson, and again, they're sloppy with the ball. One thing you can't do in practice, guys, is simulate this kind of pressure that you see in a game-time situation. It's very difficult. You can practice all you want, but the execution of it is two entirely different things come game time.
Cummings, the midi, gives it up. Mike Murray back behind the goal.
And Towson playing, I don't want to disparage their competition, but the teams they've played thus far really don't give them much of an indication, whereas Syracuse has beaten Virginia and lost a tight one to Hopkins. So they're a little more seasoned at this point of the year.
There's the flag. Murray goes down.
Free possession here. If they can control the ball, they don't. But they will be on the extra man. And also in that situation, too, by halftime, the last 3 games Towson played, the games are over. There's not that edge, that mental toughness that you build by playing in tight games.
Here's the penalty against Syracuse. It'll be a holding violation against Matt Alexander. He scored a goal. He's just tenacious and very physical.
Towson's first 3 wins were by 12, 12, and 11 goals.
Yes. So you're
tough to get an indicator.
Absolutely. Tony can't be real displeased with the effort here today. His team has played well. It's just that in certain cases they've been very sloppy with the ball in transition.
They could use one here on the extra man, trailing 8-4.
Give you an example, Scott. Jesse D'Alonzo has had his way the first 3 games. He's number 15 fighting for the ball right here. You haven't called his name much today.
Oh, Danny Ross unloaded. And that gets some whistles.
That's the nose tackle coming out on him.
6'2", 287 is what they list him at. And he unloaded.
Now, Danny and Spencer Ford played for Randy Dace in high school together.
Watch the hit.
270 pounds.
Here comes Mr. Ross. How do you do?
Oh. Tony Syracuse.
That's a 32 trap.
Tony Syracuse with a lacrosse stick.
And there's Danny again throwing his shoulder.
Oh, that's a high hit there, it looked like.
And he'll be called for it. But Rawson's 4 teammates in high school, 3 state championships for Randy Dace at Towson High School, right down the street.
Like Sturm up high, got the flag.
Here's the foul. Sturm from behind and high against Billy St. George, the freshman. We haven't talked about him much. Towson really has not tried to exploit that matchup. Credit St. George. When you don't talk about a defender, generally he's playing pretty well.
See, Tony Seaman really aware that this is a crucial part of this game. Graduate of Cortland State.
Well, the Tigers caught Syracuse in late March better than April, because in April in the 90s, Syracuse 47-1.
Yeah, and
1 loss.
Amazing.
In the 90s, and we're running out of 90s, guys.
Amazing. Well, you said it earlier, Scott, 16 straight Final Four appearances, and, you know, Hopkins has been to every NCAA tournament, but even Hopkins can't boast, or Princeton, of that kind of number.
Keone out front with it, thinks about it, fires down low, a bouncer. Back to Syracuse with 7:13 left in the third quarter, 8-4.
And this is when a team like Syracuse senses, you know, they smell the blood. They sense they can go in for the kill here, Quentin. They really put some pressure on you.
6 on 5 now. Now the Tigers
now it's even.
Back to even.
Yeah, we mentioned Tony Seaman. We have to address this. Tony was basically not rehired at Hopkins because he didn't win the national championship. Is that a fair enough thing to say?
He has made the NCAA tournament 14 of his 17 years. At Hopkins, he made 4 Final Fours in 8 seasons.
There's a shot and a goal. So Syracuse, Matt Kataya fires and scores, and now it's a 9-4 lead.
Kataya's second goal of the game. Towson with some really outstanding extra man defense. They keep Syracuse on the perimeter, but they just wear down the Tigers. Watch the double team behind the cage and a long feed across the field to Kataya. Great pass on that play. Couldn't see who it was on the far side, but he just lobs it over the defense. Kataya on the backside for the three-point shot. It was D'Arcangelo to Kataya. Much like basketball, you get double team in the corner, kick it across the court for the outside jumper.
We saw Mark Fry do that a couple of times 2 weeks ago for Loyola against Hopkins.
Well, it was a 6-4 game. The great save by Gallup, and 3 straight goals since from Syracuse. It really gave him a spark. Powell trying to work inside and loses it in the crease. Oregon clears. Here comes Towson in transition. Justin Berry.
Again,
Ross lost the handle.
Sloppy ball handle. Boy, it's been the nemesis for this team all day.
And one back the other way. There's a shot, and that's off the mark. Kevin Sturm can't find the net.
And unfortunately for Towson, Scott, there was no one to back it up. Mulligan gets there first, so Syracuse will regain possession. Again, 2 possessions where Towson really does not come up with it. You see the turn. 23 Towson turnovers, 22 for Syracuse, but Syracuse plays that kind of game. They're going to turn it over.
Coming in a hurry, Keone showing his speed.
You can't play a situation now, Scott. You can't match them goal for goal, and Syracuse.
Nobody picked
right
up
there.
Ryan Powell. Yeah, wide open, right out in front, and an easy score for Powell.
The two-headed monster strikes again. Powell's 4th goal of the game on an assist from Kataya. Kataya's got 2 goals and at least 3 assists. Here it is, Kataya to Powell. Watch the multiple fakes, and then he loves to finish high. He drops the goalie down low and finishes over the top.
So I guess right now Ryan Powell and Matt Kataya are prime contenders for the Lombard Securities Player of the Game. Timeout's been called. 5:35 left to play in the third. It's 10-4. Syracuse on top.
For '99, Bill Kidd Toyota has one goal: to be #1 in Baltimore. With the #1 selection of Camrys, Solaras, 4Runners, and trucks, and #1 in price with our lowest price guarantee. Plus #1 in customer satisfaction with our free maintenance. In fact, we're so determined to be #1 that we'll accept almost any offer, whether we make a profit or not. Right, Billy? He said yes. The new Bill Kidd Toyota Volvo, York Road at Warren, just 1 mile north of the fairground.
In the frenzy of investing and trading, brokers sometimes lose track of what they say. Sometimes they imply results that aren't what you receive. And sometimes they don't deliver the depth of service you expect. Which is why you may want to consider a new kind of independent broker from Lombard Securities Incorporated, where promises that are made are promises that are kept.
Syracuse on a 4-goal unanswered run here, and they've opened up a 10-4 lead over the Tigers. 5:35 left as one of the steady cams goes to work.
Well,
Steve
we
Gould.
mentioned the Cordisco brothers from Syracuse who went to Glenelg. Steve Gould, our Cracker Jack photographer, went to Glenelg, played football and lacrosse there. Didn't play at Syracuse, though.
The long stick fires, but a save. Number 43, that's Marshall Abrams on the shot.
Yeah, Scott, you look at the scoreboard, you see 10 goals, 5.5 minutes left to go, 5:18 left to go in the third, and you think that Towson's defense has been really exploited. And they've really played a pretty solid game. It hasn't been that kind of game at all.
And for the amount of defense they've had
to play.
10 goals against is not too bad. They really have not controlled the ball on offense
It's like
at all.
a football defense being out on the field all day. Yeah, eventually.
I think if you ask Tony, you would think his offense was going to score and his defense would probably take a couple of hits.
DePaul's a pipe. Comes back out to midfield. Scramble for it there and a whistle.
Marshall Abrams stepped on the line. 43 for Syracuse, having a good game. You saw him with that shot He scored 5 goals last season, had 3 assists. He's already...
And he just got penalized for hitting the stick right there, number 43. Good call from the official. In the dead ball situation, Abrams was kind of playing.
He just gave him a little love tap there, but the official was there and thought it was unsportsmanlike conduct. So you can see Abrams taking a seat in the box. He played for the Iroquois national team last year during the World Games. Talented player, excellent when the ball is down on the floor. He just gets that ball up and pushes it up the field.
J.D. Jones of Towson, also a member of that team, along with Gaywash Schindler from Loyola College.
So now Towson maybe can get a spark here as they go on the extra man, down 10-4. Tigers need something.
Yeah, they need a spark quick, Scott. They need to score here. Obviously, get the face-off. Try to cut that lead down to maybe 2 or 3 by the end of the quarter.
There's a shot down low. Towson will maintain possession as Sturm fired a worm burner. Good look in front.
Second time they ran that play, Scotty.
And the easy score right out in front was Steve Price.
His second goal of the second half. He scored earlier to start the second half on an extra man, an assist from Ross. This time I think he took the feed from Ford from behind. The extra man goal cuts the lead to 5. Mulligan can only smile in disbelief as his defense leaves Price all alone in front. Give me a chance is probably what he's saying to his defenders.
And I think it was the restart. It looked like they weren't ready for the restart. Ford with a real alert play in front of the net. Again, the feeder setting up a score.
And now Justin Berry will try to win this face-off and maintain possession. The Tigers try to creep back into this thing. Syracuse controls. Number 30 on the face-off for the Orange. It's Matt Alexander.
As Quinn said, Scott, he does a lot of things well. Great guy to have on your team.
Ryan Powell, gets collared, and there's the flag. Saw his neck jerk back. Yeah. He knew that one was a little higher than it should have been.
Yeah, Keith Smith came on the double team, it looked like, with Macaron, and got a little anxious with the stick check.
Well, watch this. Casey Powell, his brother, was famous for doing this. Anytime the stick came up around his head, he'll lift his head. You'll see right here, the stick's high, and he just tilts his head right there to sell it to the official. His brother was famous at that, and this official bought it. But you got to credit Powell. It's a smart play. You know, anytime you're touched up there, you got to put a little show on, and they bought it.
You didn't buy it though, did you, Quinn?
No. In fact, last year that became Casey, his brother, became really so known for that the opposing coaches would warn the officials.
And they'd still call it.
And they'd still call it on occasion.
So Syracuse on top by 5.
The Michael Jordan rules were in effect.
They've got the edge, 6 on 5.
Real regret not being able to see too much of Casey in the World Games. He was nagged by a hamstring. Played, I believe, the last game, the championship game. It would have been nice to see him play with the quality of players around him.
Ryan Powell gives it up. Now gets it right back behind the goal.
And the teams are even now, Scott.
Penalty has expired. 10-5, Syracuse with possession and the lead. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. There's a shot down low and a good save. Oregon.
Oh, nice play.
On the move.
It's Waltman again, Scott. Great stick play there.
Horowitz with it now. Good look inside.
Great looking save by Horrigan, and you can see the stick skill of Waltman just deflecting that ball to himself.
Blackowitz gives it up.
Blackowitz done some good things today. Another Calvert Hall player. Brian Kelly over there a few miles from here.
Price with it. He's got a couple of goals for the Tigers. Good pass out in front, but Ford couldn't quite get the stick on it. Try to one-time it in there.
Great chance for Towson here, Quinn, if they can get possession. A little unsettled situation.
Todd Paradise looking in front. Hooks it back behind the Ford, the penalty marker down.
It's going to be a holding call against Syracuse. Inadvertent whistle by the official, but he makes the call regardless. Usually they wait for the ball to hit the ground.
Or change of possession, right?
Change of possession, exactly. But Towson will have the extra man. Billy St. George slipped behind the cage, and Paradise really drove hard and drew the foul. I think it's Rule, number 17, big number 17.
And unfortunate for Towson, because Ford was in a good position to make something happen right there.
Another hook call or hold call. You see Rule uses his stick to really prevent Paradise from running. Hooks him. Paradise takes that one-handed shot. Not a bad idea.
Got him up in the hat on the follow-through.
Another extra man opportunity and a chance for Towson to get back into the game.
Good passing now. Towson moves it around the perimeter.
Good pass there.
Paradise. There's a shot and a good save. Mulligan to that effort.
Mulligan's as solid as you'll see. He does not let in many bad goals, and occasionally he'll rob you from close range.
25 saves against Hopkins. Paradise gets it back. Back at even strength, Syracuse.
From what I've noticed watching Mulligan in a few games, about 3 games, is he's very good up top or directly at his feet. You want to shoot around the hip area.
Looking up front, there's the pass, shot, and the score. Kevin Sturm fires it in, and that cuts the lead to 4 at 10-6. 59 seconds left in the third.
Mulligan can't believe it. He turned. He thought the ball hit the back of the net. I did also. Looked like he was in solid position. We'll see how this squeaks by. Mulligan shaking his head there. You can see, watch him turn after Sturm takes the feed from Price and beats him to the near side. Right there, he'll turn and grab the back of the net. You can't see it. Watch this shot, pinpoint accuracy to the near side. Mulligan turns, he thinks the ball's in the back of the net. It's in the goal. He picks up the net.
But you were just saying that you want to aim for the hip area, aim in the middle of the body, and that's what Kevin Sturm did.
2 and 2 for Sturm, 4-point day for the senior from St. Mary's High School.
Ross and Waltman double-teamed each other on that play.
Now Syracuse.
Towson, you don't want to give a goal up here. You fought back. You made it a game. You have to dig down with 37 seconds left.
Sun coming out at Minnigan Stadium. Not a bad afternoon. Kaya starts to the goal.
Nice help.
See if Towson can get a shot here late third quarter.
Justin Berry across midfield. Checked out. 18 seconds and the whistle, timeout, Tony Seaman. So coach will draw one up here and see if he can put a 7 on the board here in the last 17 seconds.
A smart timeout, as you said, Quint. John Desco did it earlier, a possession timeout. Sense that Berry was in trouble.
They'll hold and work for the last shot here.
Yeah. 17 seconds to go. Towson's clawed back in this. The sunshine is now out here. That's something we haven't seen
Hello.
throughout the month.
Where have you been? Again, a reminder, next week, Easter Sunday, our broadcast game of the week on Saturday at 1 o'clock. We're at Loyola College as the Greyhounds, ranked #1, take on Tony Seaman's Tigers.
Yeah, we mentioned Tony Seaman replaced Carl Runk, who did such a tremendous job over here. Still involved as a teacher at the school. You see the rest of the schedule. Syracuse at Loyola in 2 weeks.
Be a dandy.
That should be a good one.
And then our Hopkins-Maryland game on a Friday night down at College Park should be a doozy. And then the Towson-UMBC game on the 25th. That probably will have playoff implications.
Yeah,
I think that both Towson and UMBC will be fighting for spots.
Don't forget the 11th game. That's the Tom Matte Cup as Ohio State goes over to
I hear
Hopkins.
SUNY Penn and Michael Redd will be running midfield for Ohio State that night.
The big cat's going to be playing free defense.
But Carl Runk, 30 years here at Towson, won 262 games, took them to the national title game, really built his team into a strong lacrosse power. Deserves a lot of credit.
Fourth winningest coach all time in the history of college lacrosse, Carl Runk.
They don't come any better than Carl Runk.
Spencer Ford, time running out now, 9 seconds left in the quarter. Ford over the middle, shot down low. Well, they got a decent shot off. J.D. Jones.
May have hit the post, may have hit Mulligan's foot. Nice little play there where they set up a little front swing. Good execution by Towson.
Was well executed.
Good coaching, yeah. Called the timeout, got a good shot on goal. And that's the end of the third quarter. So Syracuse leads by 4. They're up 3 at the half. It's 10-6 after 3. Back with the fourth quarter at Minnigan Stadium right after this.
The Heritage Winter Clearance is on. We're seriously overstocked with too many cars. Spring shipments are on the way. At Heritage, you'll need no down payment. Just sign and drive or make no monthly payment till June. Don't pay too much. Save at the Heritage Winter Clearance on now.
Have you seen this?
What? Our eyeglass sales are off 20%.
Who's taking a bite out of us?
This is America's best. They're giving them away. 2 complete pairs of glasses for $59.99. And that includes...
What, a lollipop?
A doctor's eye exam.
At that price, how can they stay in business?
It's simple, Frank. They're taking it from us.
Call America's Best at 1-800-2-PAIR and discover the lowest price in sight. 1-800-2-PAIR.
The event you've been waiting for is here. The biggest selection of award-winning Chrysler and Plymouth cars, now for a limited time during the National Chrysler Plymouth Spring Sales Drive. Escape cash allowances up to $1,500, or our lowest APR 1.9, or low lease rates on every 1999 Chrysler and Plymouth. The National Chrysler Plymouth Spring Sales Drive, for a limited time only. See your Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
It's here again. There's no getting around that. And then you've got all those credit cards, department store charges, your car payment, and none of that high-rate interest is tax-deductible. Call the money store. Get a home equity loan. Pay off all your bills. You'll get a tax deduction that could save you thousands of dollars. And next year, you'll have a whole new word for April 15th. Payday.
The Money Store. 1-800-LOAN-YES.
The Heritage Winter Clearance is on. We're seriously overstocked with too many cars. Spring shipments are on the way. At Heritage, you'll need no down payment. Just sign and drive or make no monthly payments till June. Don't pay too much. Save at the Heritage Winter Clearance on now.
Welcome back to Minnigan Stadium. Scott Garceau, Keith Mills, and Quinn Kesenick with you. 15 minutes, lacrosse left. Syracuse leads 10-6 as we go into the fourth quarter.
Now, Quentin, you're a graduate of Lynbrook High, right? Tony Seaman, coach.
That's right.
There, right?
He was actually coached my brothers in high school lacrosse, and he was my 7th grade soccer coach, Tony Seaman. And then he went to CW Post, where he took that program from complete obscurity to almost an undefeated record. He was only there for 1 year and then went to Penn and built that program up. I think he was at Penn for about 8 years.
How do you do with your lacrosse game?
With our soccer team, I was the goalie. I remember my first game, I came out and I decked this guy on a breakaway. I got a yellow card. The kid scored on a penalty shot, and we lost 2-1. He's like, what are you doing?
Oh, shot off the puck.
That looked like it hit the back of the net.
Yeah, I thought it was in.
I think John Desko was calling for it, but yeah, he's
got his hands
goal.
up.
But Tony was a great high school lacrosse coach, and you rarely see that transition made. For some reason, high school coaches in this area, I think they're tremendous high school coaches. Rarely do you see them become college coaches. Watch the replay. Josh Rule off the corner.
Good call.
He pinged the corner.
Good call.
There are some coaches in this area I think would make excellent college coaches, but for some reason, athletic directors in college, I don't think want to take that chance, usually, it seems, to hire the high school guy.
Some great high school games this past week. Boys Latin McDonough, classic game Friday. Jake Reed and Coach McDonough done a solid job with that program.
There's another bad pass right into the stick of the Syracuse player.
It's been the Achilles heel all day, Scott. Towson's defense has done well enough, but their clearing phase of their defense has not done the job.
And Alexander picked off the pass, and now the Orange in possession. A 4-goal lead, and they've been pretty methodical on the offensive end for most of the game. Keith talked to John Desko at halftime, and he said that's by design.
Again, as Quinn said, they had to work on the zone defense, well schooled in that this week, but
well, different personnel, but also remember, new head coach, and maybe different wrinkles.
That's a good point. You know, it's odd, and I hope to ask John this after the game. Roy Simmons Jr. is on the bench, and it's got to be whispered. We were like Earl Weaver sitting on the bench.
Oh, off the pipe behind the back shot. A good pass by Ryan Powell. It was number 35. Stuart Smith, who just missed.
It would be like Earl Weaver, you know, sitting on the bench when Joe Altobelli took over as manager of the Orioles. It's an odd transition.
Well, Simmons resigned. He basically stepped down and forfeited the position over to Desko. And so it wasn't like...
And there's a shot and a goal. Keith Smith fired a bullet in there. And Towson is clawing their way right back in this game, 10-7.
3 goals in a row.
And I thought that he stepped out of bounds. It was extremely close, right tiptoed along the end line.
Take a look at Smith, the junior from North Hartford. 5 goals last season. Really known for his speed and his endurance. Plays great defense, and he's tenacious on loose balls. But watch it, he comes in and just fires it near side. Perfect accuracy. Poor Mulligan has been victimized by 2 perfect shots. Towson, 3 goals in a row. They trail 10-4. We've got ourselves a ball game.
Yeah. Keith Smith, former Player of the Year in Harford County, played on the state championship team. Well, Powell scored his 4th. It was 10-4. It looked like it was over with. Here comes Syracuse. They've got numbers.
And they're sloppy with the ball.
All of a sudden, that Towson side, guys are up making noise, and you can see the enthusiasm.
Yeah, Scott, you see John Desko. You see that a lot in the NCAA basketball tournament. The underdog gets the confidence, and they start to do things that they don't normally do. It's a state of mind kind of thing. And right now, Towson very much in this game.
This is where Syracuse has to bear down offensively. They've been smart with the ball throughout. Now's not the time to turn it over.
Ryan Powell, that's deflected. Towson got a stick on it.
And that's big Steve Waltman again.
Smart play there. They just kind of swept it out, knew he had help back there.
Very impressed with Waltman today, Quint.
Yeah, he's an excellent player. He makes plays. He's got a knack to get the ball out of the air, get it on the ground. Smart player.
Cordisco,
always
Tim
around the ball.
Burns. Keep it in, but Towson comes up with it. Here come the Tigers, trailing by 3. Plenty of time left.
Open man, a nice pass. Nice pass.
Lakowitz with it. There's the big guy, Danny Ross. Look out, they're after you. That's what they're yelling to Mike Murray.
And the crowd helped out there. You may have heard the crowd giving Murray an assist. Towson with their second midfield in there right now.
It's J.D. Jones with it.
Murray, Jones, and Berry.
Jones' flag is down. Towson's going to have an advantage.
Free possession.
Right in front, he scores.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
It's all right. J.D. Jones didn't give it up. I think perhaps Mulligan was expecting the pass, and instead he got the shot.
J.D. Jones, transfer from Mercyhurst, comes in all alone. Syracuse does not double team him. Watch. They'll just leave him all alone. There's no help defensively. And again, he beats Mulligan to the near side high. Huge goal for Towson. They're down by 2. They've scored 4 in a row.
A game of runs. A game of streaks. Syracuse went on 1. Towson on 1 right now. Big face-off coming up. But again, you see, it looked like Mulligan calling for the crease call, but not there.
There was a delayed foul on that play. It was almost as if Syracuse defense stopped playing, and they were just waiting for the whistle.
And Towson comes up with it.
And Spencer Ford getting triple teamed here, double teamed at least.
He gives it up just in time. Keith Smith, who scored the 7th goal for the Tigers.
New ball game, Scott, and now you have Syracuse back on your heels a little bit. Terrible pass there.
Olmo's in white right now.
Steve Price, momentum clearly with Towson. A goal right now would even pull the clamps a little tighter on Syracuse. You have to start thinking now, Quint, that this game is definitely in jeopardy.
Todd Paradise. Back over to Keith Smith.
We almost saw the same kind of game last week at Hopkins.
Smith fires, loose in front and covered up. Whoop.
Actually, Quint looked like it hit the defender.
The defenseman blocked it. Not the shot that Towson wanted.
Now Syracuse, they've been dry for a while. They'd like to kind of stem the tide here. Towson has taken over control with 4 unanswered goals.
Yeah, it's got to get the ball to Kataya there. Kind of quarterback. Let him set the table here offensively. Big possession for Towson.
Under 10 minutes now, 9:52 left to play. 10-8, Syracuse hanging on to a 2-goal lead, but Towson taking a pretty gutty run at them after they were down 10-4. Top. Kataya gives it up. Right out in front, Powell hit the pipe. Penalty marker down.
We've talked about Powell from in tight, how he loves to fake low and shoot high. That's the 3rd pipe shot Syracuse has had in the second half. There'll be a foul against Towson, I think, for a push. Watch, Powell turns. He's pushed from behind by Anzalone, but he fakes Horgan out, and a double pipe. That ball may have bounced. That ball may have bounced in the goal with some backspin. Take a look. I didn't quite see that replay, but you could see it at home. Powell, you can see him lying in the crease right there, so Syracuse will have the extra man.
Tony Seaman talked about hitting the pipes from Towson in the first half, but as you said, Syracuse has hit 3.
Key extra man if Towson can kill this one.
My mistake, Scott. My mistake. It was a loose ball, so their teams are even strength.
Even strength.
Towson has 6
on 6.
Yeah, but you said, Scott, very key possession regardless. 9
minutes about.
Yeah, 9 minutes left to go.
Hoffman, the freshman, scored early. He's got some quicks. Pass out front, left-hand shot off the mark.
Great hustle by Horgan.
Horgan backs it up, heads up play, and again, Towson dodges the bullet. You know,
timeout down on the field. We're going to step out. 8:51 left to play. Don't go anywhere. Syracuse on top by 2, 10-8.
BT Productions presents Luncheons Meet Luncheons, starring The Temptations. With Harold Melvin's Blue Notes, featuring Sharon Page. With the Marmalette. Shirley Boston. Billy Guy's Posters. Sunday, April 4th, in the Mini Theater at the Baltimore Arena.
Dominican Stadium, Scott Garceau, Keith Mills, Quinn Kesenick with you. Who's scoring? Well, Syracuse on the attack. 7 goals, Towson with 3, and the Towson Middies 5 goals to the 3 for Syracuse.
Second half has been a second half of runs. Syracuse had a 4-goal run to go up 10-4, and then Towson has countered with a 4-goal run of their own to make it 10-8. So still anyone's ball game. Got to credit Towson for coming back, showing some resilience.
Yeah, and I think that's got a lot to do with their experience. Towson's a very experienced team, has a lot of guys who've played a lot of lacrosse here at this school, and it's showing in the second half.
Got a whistle.
Extra ball on
the
field, yeah.
Which one do I scoop up, right? Kick save for John Horgan.
There we go. But you talk about Sturm and Ford and Paradise and Anzalone. These guys have played in a lot of big games at this school. But really, Horgan, number 5, has stepped up and probably maybe played his best game in his career here.
How about that for confidence? Penalty marker down. See a sophomore like Horgan playing this kind of game against a quality opponent like Syracuse are going to help him early in the year.
No doubt about it. Jeff Champney is the backup goalie from Delaney for Towson.
Horgan last year got a lot of playing time as a freshman. His save percentage was only around 49%. He started in 11 of the 12 games. Didn't get much support, though, and I think he got some bad habits. You bring in the new coaching staff with John Weston, who's the goalie guru, and he's really straightened out Horgan. They're playing better defense in front of him. He's got quickness and confidence.
Extra man now for Towson, 6 on 5. So they try to chip into a 2-goal Syracuse lead. Spencer Ford, kind of the quarterback behind the goal. Ford up top to Sturm. That's Paradise. Paradise fires low. Back to Towson as Ford backed things up. The big guy on the crease, Danny Ross, trying to put a little screen in there. There's a shot from Sturm.
Not much movement by Towson on this extra man. They're just throwing the ball around the outside and taking outside shots. They need to cut.
Much cutting, right? Yeah.
And there's
Now
Ross setting a screen there.
I would think he could set a screen. Pass to Sturm. Goalie's down, and he shot it into him. Wow. There's a goal, and Towson cuts it to 1.
Yeah, Kevin Sturm stuck with it, Scott. The first shot got stopped by default almost because Mulligan hit the turf, but
Mulligan hit the deck. What was that about?
Mulligan fell on his butt, and Sturm didn't really recognize it. He hit him in the foot, it looked like. He was sitting in the goal. Dominic Hasek would have been proud, but Sturm stayed with it and gets a loose ball. Watch this. Watch Mulligan lose his feet. He's down on the ground and somehow manages to make the save with his ankle, but Sturm, 28, stays on the loose ball, spins, and finishes 1-goal game.
Yeah, 1-goal game with 7 minutes and 38 seconds. It's anybody's game here.
This is a pretty incredible run. Towson, 5 unanswered goals. Syracuse with the face-off, but a check, and Towson's up with it. And here come the Tigers in transition with a chance to tie it up.
And that's our guy against Steve Waltman, another big play.
Towson has been handling the ball better during the last 10 minutes.
You're right.
Fewer turnovers.
Keith, we talk about the goals, scores, and all the stuff around the crease, but guys like Waltman get you there.
Oh, absolutely. Waltman played a solid game. So is Anzalone on defense. And now it's time for the attack to take over, and they have. In the latter stages of the third quarter and the fourth. They've controlled the ball, and they made wise decisions.
On the move, that's number 3, J.D. Jones. Flips it behind the goal. Look out front, and a quick stick from Mike Murray. Just misses.
Great offense by Towson. J.D. Jones draws the double team, kicks it behind to the feeder, Spencer Ford. He finds the man in front, but they can't connect. But that's textbook offense. Draw the double team, kick it behind.
6:40 to play in the game. Towson down 10-4, has cut it to 10-9. Ball loose. Syracuse trying to scoop it up.
Yes, Scott, that's Marshall Abrams again. We saw him make an end-to-end run early. That time he shows his athleticism again.
Matty, help him out, Matty.
Check at midfield. And there's the flag. Saw him looking back like Tim Burns saying, where's the call? There's a shot to score. So Syracuse kept the possession. And now they're up by 2, 11-9.
Yeah, they kept the pressure on, which is a sign of a real seasoned, poised team. Number 16 for Syracuse, Matt Coyote, who again shows his class, Quint. There was a lot of chaos out here with the penalty call, but he just...
Coyote, known for his speed and finishes this time left-handed. He'd missed the goal a couple times earlier right-handed, but really makes a big shot here, beating Horrigan to the stick side, far side. His first goal of the day, he had big high school career, had 104 career goals in high school, really known for his ability to get up and down the field and play defense, but a huge goal for Syracuse.
Yeah.
Ends a 5-goal run from the Tigers in the lead up to 2 at 11-9.
And Towson now still a man down. That was a slashing call against Sturm, so this is a man down faceoff for Towson.
Syracuse controls. Orangemen have regained some of that momentum because Towson really was on a buzz.
Good point, Scott, and it came from a big defensive possession, much like Jason Gala made the big save in the third quarter. Crucial possession here. Really can't afford to go down 3 goals with 5.5 minutes left here.
20 left on the penalty. Around the perimeter, the Orangemen work it.
Gotta watch the backside. Powell will feed to the backside.
Good look out front and a shot and a score. They went upstairs. Kataya with the assist pass.
Coyote with his second goal in a row.
Backers.
Great shooting by Matt Coyote. Last year, only a 12% shooter. He has scored 2 huge goals here in the fourth quarter. That one on an extra man. Watch it this time right-handed, top shelf. Real tough save for Horrigan, who is a lefty. Watch this ball just ping the corner. Sensational accuracy. Matt Coyote stepping up when he has to. Kataya and Powell shut off there. Coyote just zings the corner.
But you called it, Quint. You said they'll go from to the backside, weak side, ball reversal, and then attack, and that's what good teams do against a zone, particularly a man down.
Whose ball trying to take it up is Justin Berry. And checked away, and a flag is down. They have a slash.
Syracuse bench not happy with that. John Desco is absolutely irate with the official.
And Rob Mulligan, the goalie, fires down his stick.
Yeah, you see, John, good job by our camera guys. He was up in arms. He was 5 yards off the field, and it's not going to change the call, though.
There's going to be a hold against Matty Alexander, number 30 for Syracuse. When he did that one-hand check, they'll take their free hand, your left hand, and you'll hold the jersey. That way you keep the player close to you, and you swing your stick around him. And the referee had a perfect angle, made that holding call.
A little over 5 minutes left to play now. 3-goal Syracuse lead. Tigers with the extra man. Big possession here. Paradise.
Yeah, Towson had some success against the extra man. That time Mulligan with a good save.
Stern with the shot. And 8 seconds left on the penalty. Throw it away. Towson should come up with it.
It's play from John Campbell there to clear.
Smart play from Campbell to circle there.
Paradise with some pressure coming up behind him.
To run away from traffic.
Yeah, Paradise so smooth and fluid.
That's Scott Paradise up top. Junior from Falston. Penalty has expired. Both teams at even strength. 12-9. Syracuse leads. 4:05 to play. Syracuse led 6-3 at the half, 10-6 after 3. Tigers cut it down to a single goal at 10-9. And back-to-back goals by Matt Keone. Loose in front.
Ford looked like he tried to force that, but I thought it was a pretty good play. Make something happen. You only have 3.5 minutes to go. You got to score there.
Credit Marshall Abrams for blocking that. He and Woltman, they're the two defensive stars we have seen today. They just make a lot of plays.
Kataya behind the goal.
Great defensive player, Scott. Always seemed to be around the ball. Always seemed to get in the way of something. Great instinct.
They looked inside to the cutter, Cordisco, and thought better of it. Don't want to turn the ball over here if you're Syracuse.
Yeah.
Get something good. Be patient.
Have enough points to win. Have enough goals on the board to win. And a team like Syracuse, we saw them last year do this to Hopkins with Casey and Ryan Powell. Ran out the clock.
Towson needs to extend the defense, look for a double team eventually. Horrigan will come out of the goal. They'll send a defenseman from the inside to double team the ball. I'd be surprised if Syracuse will take a shot. If they get into trouble, look for the timeout.
Oh, great play from Horrigan.
Real good anticipation. He was moving on that early. Tries to clear it up to Ford. Spencer Ford will take it to the goal. A little high. Tried to get it to Paradise.
There's Woltman again.
Yeah, good job. He's been all over to Ross. Shot down low by Keith Smith. Oh, Syracuse way. Close.
Yeah, Mulligan got there before Ford. Looks like Smith didn't get everything he wanted on that shot, Quinn.
Well, we said coming in that it would take double digits if the Tigers wanted to win, and Syracuse with 12 up there again. They've now gone 22 consecutive games in double figures, 87 of their last 92. Time out on the field, 2:24 left. Syracuse leads by 3.
We're here at Tom's house, the one with a brand new satellite dish he got by calling Bell Atlantic Video. Let's watch as Tom takes his direct TV system for a test drive. There he goes. He's picking up the remote. He's clicking. Yeah. Now he's taking control with his interactive program guide. Look at him navigate. With so many choices from DirecTV and USSB, he's finding some programs he couldn't even get from cable for about the monthly cost of cable. And boy, does he love that digital quality picture and sound. Bell Atlantic even installed an antenna for his local stations. Wow.
For your free guide to DirecTV or to place your order, call Bell Atlantic Video toll-free at 1-877-588-BELL. There's no equipment to buy. You rent it all. And Bell Atlantic delivers and installs everything. DirecTV from Bell Atlantic. Let us entertain you.
Back at Minnigan Stadium, time running out, 2:24 left. The Tigers trail Syracuse Fifth-ranked Orangemen lead at 12-9.
Yeah, Tony Seaman hoping for something spectacular to happen here for his ball club. And Syracuse very poised.
Well, he said coming into this thing, he was curious to find some things out about his team. I think he found some things out today, and a lot of them positive.
I think so. I think the biggest positive is his defense. Defense was tested. They played a solid game. They gave up 12 goals, but a lot of that wasn't on the defense.
Josh Kaufman running behind the goal. I'd like to remind you, if you're a lacrosse fan, Lax Talk. You can talk lacrosse every Saturday morning, 10 to noon on 1570 AM with Gordon Boone and Mark Dixon.
Syracuse calls timeout. Nice call by Desco on the sideline. Sensing his player was getting into trouble behind the cage, calls timeout. Towson's defense last season gave up 13.17 goals against per game, 43rd in the nation. So hold a team like Syracuse to 12 goals, a very positive sign. I think they're doing some nice things on defense. The one area they need to work on is the turnovers, and getting the ball from defense to offense, because they do have some scores.
Yeah, and Tony was saying they scrimmaged Virginia about a week before the season, got down in that game much like they did today. Tony said, don't quit on me, guys. Keep your head. Let's come back. And they did. And we saw the same thing again today.
Well, from 10-4, it looked like if you're going to quit, that might be a time you throw in the towel a little bit. They didn't. They scored 5 unanswered goals and came back and cut it to 10-9. Loyola next week, our game, and you see the Greyhounds #1 in the USILA top 10, followed by Duke, Hopkins, Virginia, Syracuse 5, and Georgetown, Maryland, Delaware, UMBC, and Navy. So the locals sprinkled throughout, starting at #1 with Loyola.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. UMBC will drop out. They lost again yesterday. But Towson now, they were, what, 15th coming in. They played this team even here today. So it's interesting to see what happens with the Tigers in terms of the rankings.
Delaware playing Navy today, that game at Delaware. So the winner there will stay in the top 10. The loser probably will drop out.
And how about the Thunder? What's our Thunder update?
Thunder, we're in the playoffs. We won a big game last night up in Rochester. We got it done. You know, we've been struggling lately, and Chris Anderson, our goalie, played a great game. And Gary Gate woke up with 6 goals and 4 assists. He was the MVP, but we bared down and played some good defense
Keith,
when we had to.
We've heard that there's not a lot of money in the game for players, but Keith told me that some players are being escorted on private jets from games now. So apparently the league has come of age.
Yeah, I understand that as Syracuse walks in on goal right here, Ryan Powell has deflected. John Horgan is in the middle of that scrum. God, nice heads-up play there.
Some nasty checking down there.
Still time here, 1:24 left. If they can get the ball into the offensive zone.
Syracuse up 3. That's one way to get it in the zone.
Yeah,
throw it up in the air and hope Danny Ross can knock somebody down
and
again.
He did.
Still loose.
But anyway, Scott, after the Hopkins game yesterday that Quint did for HTS, he was sent to Rochester in a private plane along with Gary Gate and a few other guys.
Yeah, Matt Clune and Paul Caneby, who are actually assistant coaches here at Towson, and John Tillman, who's a coach at Navy. We have a lot of guys on our team with Saturday responsibilities. So,
police escort to the airport, to the private
The van was waiting for us. It took us straight to the arena. Next thing you know, we were out on the floor, and we had a little sluggish first quarter. We didn't play our best ball in the first quarter, but we weathered their storm and played a great third quarter and won the ball game. Our next home game is next Saturday against Syracuse. 2 more regular season games left, and then the playoffs. And so, you know, we had a sluggish spot there in the season. I think we're coming back to where we want to be.
Under a minute left now, 55 seconds. Good pass in front. Shot by Sturm. Got a piece of the long stick, I think.
Yeah.
A little huddle here from the officials.
Whistle on the near side.
Interesting to see what this call would be.
Big Josh Rule, 6'5", 230, Marshall Academy.
He's the closest thing Syracuse can come to a big body like Danny Ross, trying to defend him inside.
Yeah, there's no other player like Danny Ross in the college game, but they've done a good job with Danny. One thing about Syracuse where you have a strong, big player like that, they're so quick defensively that you can take a big guy out of the game. See Danny for 33.
Rule got a...
Well, if Rule got the penalty, why does the ball go back to Syracuse?
That's what Tony Seaman wants to know right there.
They were already on the extra man.
They still got another whistle, and I think that's what they're trying to sort out right now.
Tony pleading his case.
Looks like Syracuse will retain possession.
Obviously could not have been on Josh Rule. Inside a minute.
Yeah, Orangemen bring it up on top 12-9.
good give and go there.
Matt Alexander.
Yeah, he's got some quickness.
And 16, Keone. These guys can fly.
Keone gets double-teamed and taken down.
Another timeout by John Desco.
Desco uses his last timeout as Keone was getting double-teamed. They've got to keep that ball in the striped box. And so Keone found himself cornered there, and Desco bailed him out with the timeout.
I'd like to remind everybody to be with us next week. A little schedule change with the Easter holiday. We'll be on the air Saturday at 1 o'clock from the campus of Loyola College as the top-ranked Greyhounds, Dave Cottle's guys ranked #1, take on Tony's Tigers.
Yeah, it should be an interesting game. Dave and Tony have met before, obviously. Tony with Hopkins, but they're great friends, best of friends. Dave was very supportive of Tony when he left Hopkins, and very actually critical of Hopkins in that situation. But the two are longtime rivals and friends.
Be a great game. Newly refurbished Curly Field looks spectacular.
Yeah, had a chance to spend some time there 2 weeks ago. Loyola played Notre Dame. Notre Dame gave Loyola all they could handle. You see some of the future lacrosse fans here. Good crowd today. Sunshine, relatively warm day compared to what we've been through. Even though we're in the middle of a wind tunnel up here on the top of the press box.
Syracuse becoming the road warriors of college lacrosse. They've been down to Baltimore twice already. They'll come back down later this year to play Loyola, which will be a real test for the Greyhounds.
Yeah.
Syracuse home against Brown next week, and this is Quintet back for Loyola.
A game we'll also be doing.
That'll be a great game, because rarely does Syracuse come into a ball game as an underdog.
And we have a penalty. Looks like an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. A Syracuse player whistled, and just actually the referee took him by the arm and he shrugged his arm off. Number 3 right there, Liam Banks, a freshman, North Melville High School. Another very highly regarded freshman.
That won't win you any points with the coach.
No, not at this stage of the game. 23 seconds. You know, any coach will tell you never give a team that's down an opportunity. 3 goals in 23 seconds, probably a little too much of a deficit, but
just doing something like that, shrugging off a ref, that's
absolutely.
A freshman maybe needs to grow up a little.
Absolutely. Hasn't played much today, and that will keep him on the bench probably a little longer.
So 23 seconds left. Bring it right in, fire on goal, but nothing going on there as Mulligan stops it. Now more flags.
Mulligan's going to get an unsportsmanlike conduct. After making this save, he must have said something to the shooter. The referee was right there. You can see Mulligan running off. Spencer Ford with the outside shot right to the stick of Mulligan. You can see the replay. He was just yelling at him, I think, and the referee, unsportsmanlike conduct. So Syracuse now will be down 3 men. You see they only have 3 defensive players on the field, and Golub will come into the goal. Watch after the save. You know, he's talking. He's talking. There's something going on right there. He's got to be saying something.
And the referee right behind him made the call. And here's Jason Golub, who made probably the biggest save of the game, if you ask me. Back in the 3rd quarter with Towson down 6-4.
So the little man with only 3 people in front of him, inside on the crease. Price can't hang on. 7 seconds left. Time running out. And possession to Syracuse.
It's got kind of a bittersweet game for Towson. I think Tony will tell you that, hey, we had an opportunity
to win it to 10-9,
No moral victories at this level, and even though he's got to be pleased at some of the intensity that he saw today.
That's going to do it. Syracuse hangs on after a nice run from Towson, but the Orangemen put it in the win column. 12-9 the final. They're now 4-1 on the year. Towson drops to 3-1.
And I guess, Quinn, the question is asked, is Syracuse as good as they've been over the last couple of years, or is Towson better than a lot of people thought?
I think Towson has got a legitimate shot to make the playoffs this year. Syracuse, not a top 2 or 3 team, somewhere in the middle echelon there. If they play smart and get great goaltending, they have a shot to make the Final Four again. But I think a workmanlike victory by Syracuse. They gutted it out. They really dominated the play at 10-4, and then they got sloppy but rallied.
Yeah.
They showed a lot of integrity coming from, giving up the lead and then getting it back. It takes a lot. And Towson, there's some talent on that team. They sharpen things up. They're in good shape.
Absolutely.
So color this one orange. Syracuse 12-9 over Towson. We'll return to Minnigan Stadium right after this.
smack her around?
A case of Don't Hit Me, Hit the Road. Next people score. Monday at 4, only on ABC2.
Meet local high school athletes who have what it takes on and off the field. Watch Prep Profile.
Tuesdays at 6, brought to you by your friends at Toyota. Toyota, every day.
Listen. Secretariat, Man of War, Seabiscuit, whispering of races lost and won. You hear it? You hear it?
It's opening day at Pimlico, Wednesday, March 31st. Enter the Grandstand 3, enjoy $1 concessions, and a free live racing program. Pimlico, where fun finishes first.
We were there when it was still just a game, when winning or losing didn't matter, and a desire to play was all you needed. Of course, that was then. The game has changed, but not our commitment to the cutting edge in lacrosse equipment and merchandise, like the Warrior Odyssey, with product development by the world's best lacrosse players, and the C2 from Sport Helmets, the company that brought you the #1 selling helmet in sports, setting new standards for performance, comfort, and value, while protecting the brains of the game. Backrack Racing, over 95 years of lacrosse tradition.
In the frenzy of investing and trading, brokers sometimes lose track of what they say. Sometimes they imply results that aren't what you receive. And sometimes they don't deliver the depth of service you expect. Which is why you may want to consider a new kind of independent broker from Lombard Securities Incorporated, where promises that are made are promises that are kept.
Levitt's Furniture, Maryland and Virginia only. Bankruptcy, going out of business sale. Sacrifice. The huge selection of fine brand name furniture, bedding, and oriental rugs are being reduced daily for immediate removal. Warning. When it's over, it's over.
Two Sports Lacrosse Game of the Week. Brought to you by Wells Discount Liquors, serving Maryland since 1937. And Lombard Securities, Baltimore's source for independent financial advice. Where promises made are promises kept.
Well, they trailed 10-4. Towson U took a run at Syracuse, cut it to a goal at 10-9, but Syracuse wins the final 12-9. Matt Keone with back-to-back goals to kind of put it away as Syracuse walks out of here with the win, and they up their record to 4-1. Our Lombard Securities player of the game, Ryan Powell. Ryan Powell now with 30 points on the year. Came in to this game with 10 goals and 15 assists. Powell with 4 goals and 1 assist today, and he's our Lombard Securities player of the game.
Hey, Ryan Powell, as advertised, even though, Quinn, I thought that, he wasn't spectacular, but just did the job, and he just came to play as usual.
He gets so many opportunities. He's relentless, never stops playing, and he works so well with his teammate. You can see on the left there, Matt Kataya, who had 2 goals and 3 assists. But Ryan Powell, brother of Casey, 4 goals and 1 assist, the Lombard Securities player of the game.
Now, as for the STX Lax World play of the game, a couple of pretty good plays. We saw one in goal, Jason Gallup, who came up with a big save. But how about this, Ryan Powell?
Ryan Powell behind the back goal that made it 10-4 for Syracuse. Just an explosive play right there. Give him a 6-goal lead. He had 4 goals on the day. Ryan Powell from Carthage, New York.
The other play could have been Jason Golub, the 5'4" goalie who came in when Mulligan was penalized, and he made a big save with Towson
6-4 at that point. Yeah,
6-4 exactly, and Towson was on the extra man. Had they scored 6-5, next thing you know, Syracuse goes on their run.
Yeah.
Pound for pound, the best player in the game, Jason Gallup.
Today was, no doubt about it.
All right, that's going to do it here from Minnigan Stadium. Reminder again, join us next Saturday, 1 o'clock. We'll be at Loyola College, Towson and Loyola next Saturday at 1. The final at Minnigan Stadium here today, Syracuse 12, Towson 9. Good day, everybody. Switch hands, and there's some numbers. The turnovers jump out at you.
Most people can't even afford to find out if they've been the victim of medical malpractice because case expenses can run into the tens of thousands of dollars. So we at the law offices of Stephen L. Miles charge you no expenses or legal fees unless we win your case. To discuss this matter, call me personally, Steve Miles, at 410-685-8444. Let's talk about it.
Hi, and thanks for joining us. I'm Chris.
And I'm Brett.
Here today on Vacations USA with our #1 family getaway, Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey.
They added $45 million in new excitement.
It's like a whole new theme park with 25 new attractions.
And the new super coaster, Medusa, is the only one like it in the world.
Plus, there's an all-new Batman stunt show.
Along with a huge new Looney Tunes seaport for kids and parents.
Remember, 25 new rides.
Means more fun and less waste. I love that.
And for the first time ever, kids are always half price.
Plus, they have the largest drive-through safari outside of Africa right next door.
Earning 2 huge thumbs up from Vacations USA. Call 1-800-685-2215 today.
Then pack your bags for Six Flags Great Adventure, just a short drive away. That's all for now.
We'll see you at Six Flags.
Today's history-making game, coverage from Cuba, tonight at 6:30.
The following program is brought to you by E4L. That's everything for less. Shop on the phone, online, on TV. Hundreds of thousands of name brand products, all at wholesale prices.
Don't pay retail, get everything for less. It's more than our name, it's our promise.
Attention! Stay tuned for an amazing 3 for free special offer, which includes trying the #1 TV weight loss system in the country. That's right. Now you can try Larry North's Great North American Slim Down for free. Stay tuned for details. More than 500,000 people have done it. That's more than the total population of Cleveland, Ohio. She did it and lost 45 pounds in 5 months. More people did it than all the people who quit smoking last year. She did it and went from a size 22 to a size 7 and kept it off for 4 years. More people did it than the entire population of Wyoming. He did it and lost more than 200 pounds in just 1 year. Over 500,000 of your friends and neighbors have already learned how to lose weight fast and keep it off. And now you can too. But you gotta do one thing.
You gotta eat. You gotta eat.
You gotta eat.
Now, come on board with best-selling author and renowned weight loss expert Larry North as he takes the most successful TV weight loss program in the country out to the world on the Great North American Slim Down Cruise 99. For more than 15 years, Larry has helped thousands upon thousands of people with their struggle to lose weight fast and keep it off. And now he reveals the secrets of his exclusive program in a simple-to-follow step-by-step plan for eating more often and using the right combinations of foods to turn your body into an efficient fat-burning machine. In fact, the Slim Down is guaranteed to make you lose weight, shed inches, and feel better than you have in years in only 21 days. Best of all, you can try Larry's proven Slim Down program absolutely free as part of our amazing 3 for free special offer. Get visible results or you don't pay. Details coming up. So now, join Larry as he proves you can eat more than you ever imagined and lose weight faster than you ever thought possible on the Great North American Slim Down Cruise 99.
Here I am on one of the largest, most spectacular cruise ships, the Carnival Destiny. Now, what better place to show you how important it is to eat if you want to lose weight and keep it off? Everywhere you look, there's an exciting activity or an exotic port of call. But most of all, everywhere you go, there's delicious, sumptuous food. It's incredible. This ship has 7 different restaurants. International specialties, room service, midnight buffets. Everywhere you turn, food's available 24 hours a day. It's the worst place in the world if you want to lose weight, right? Wrong. It's a great place to lose weight on my Slim Down. Because on my Slim Down, the most important thing you gotta do, you gotta eat.
Larry, I've got a problem. I hate dieting. I'm starving to death.
what have you been doing to try to lose the weight?
Well, I've tried everything. I've tried cutting the calories. I've tried low fat, low carbohydrate, powders, you name it.
Do you know why you're not losing the weight?
No.
Not eating enough. You're not eating enough food.
That doesn't sound right, but go ahead.
The real secret is that you have to eat. What I show people how to do is how to use food to lose fat. I show you how to feed the muscle, how to starve the fat, and what you do is you actually end up eating more food, which causes your metabolism to increase. When your metabolism increases, you can end up losing more fat than you ever thought possible.
I started the program in June, and now it's been 19 weeks, and I've lost a total of 93 pounds.
I've lost 42 pounds in 19 weeks, and it's just kind of melted off. It just happens.
I've been averaging, 4 to 6 pounds a week, and that's why I called Larry Show when I contacted him, was how do I slow this thing down? It's just magic.
I think the single most important thing you have to do in this slim down is to eat.
You gotta eat.
You gotta eat.
There's no two ways about it. You just never thought I would be weighing this at 44 years old and feeling so good about everything, and it changes your whole attitude on life.
I was fat. I was not chubby. I was fat. I was well over 300 pounds. I tried just about every diet there is on the market. I mean, I could name them for you. The reason I stopped diets in the past is because I like to eat. And on this plan, you get to eat. A good steak and a baked potato is a pretty good meal on this program. I've lost a total of 80 pounds, and I have kept it off for 3 to 4 years. I started out with a 44 waist, and I'm wearing a 36 waist. If you're fat and you really want to lose weight, you have to eat more.
How's it possible that we could eat more food and still lose weight?
It's a good question. I want you to imagine that your body is a furnace, or better yet, like these two bonfires. It burns food for fuel. And if you don't put wood on the fire regularly, ultimately, it's going to burn out. And then, when I put a big log on it, it's just going to sit there. Nothing's going to happen. It's not going to burn. And your body essentially works the same way. If you starve it, the fire starts to die down. Then you can't burn the food you feed it. The food is just going to sit there. It's going to get stored as fat. Now, on the other hand, if you put good logs, like good food, on the fire regularly, look, it's just going to burn hotter and hotter. And then think about it. If I put this big log on the fire, it's no problem for it to burn. It's going to burn up. I want you to imagine that this log is a cheesecake. That cheesecake doesn't stand a chance on this bonfire. On my program, you'll become a fat-burning machine. So even if you cheat or treat, you'll be burning calories so fast, it's not going to make much difference. I'll show you how to use food to stoke that fire so that you'll burn calories faster and faster. You'll be eating more food than you ever imagined, and you'll lose more weight than you ever thought possible.
The amazing thing is that when you start this program, even if you are large, you start to feel good about your body right away. I started at 336 pounds, size 30, and it took me 8 months to lose 120 pounds, and I'm a size 14 now. Throughout my whole life, I've had an unhealthy relationship with food. I have been anorexic, I've been bulimic, and I was down on myself, and I saw Larry slim down on TV, and I asked my husband to get it for me for my birthday. I saw results the first week. My test was how consistent will that weight loss come off? And the second week, when I lost another 5 pounds, and the third week I lost another 5 pounds, and it just kept coming off, I was so amazed. I was a believer. There's a lot of stuff that you can write down in your Lean Life Organizer, but there's a lot of stuff that you can't write down. Like, you can't write down your self-esteem, and that's what this program has given me.
There's absolutely no way that I could diet. With my work schedule, a diet would never work.
I'm in sales, so I don't know if I'm going to eat, when I'm going to eat. I'm just too busy to diet.
Wait, you guys. My program is not a diet. And let me tell you this, my program fits around your lifestyle. You don't change your lifestyle to work around my program. It was designed that way, to be simple and easy so that you'll get the results fast. Come on, I want to show you how it works. You
know what you do day one on my program? You add a meal. That's it. You just add a meal. And look, we're talking about real food.
Isn't adding another meal going to make me even fatter?
No, you gotta eat. You eat more because you're trying to speed up your metabolism. I'm gonna show you guys how to eat more often and use the right combinations of food so that you can turn your body into a fat-burning machine. Can you do it?
You mean eat another meal?
Yeah, can you do that?
Yeah.
Then you know what? You're halfway there. The next day, you start your exercise program. You do a 60-second workout. This is a little muscle-building exercise. You can do it in front of the TV. You can do it at your office. You can do it at your home. And you don't need workout clothes. And this helps you put on muscle so that you burn calories all day long. It's all outlined right here, day by day, hour by hour. Now, over the next 3 weeks, you're going to make a few changes in the way that you eat, and then you're going to integrate a few leisurely aerobic activities, and you know what? Do a couple of 60-second exercises, and that's it. It's that simple. And within 21 days, and that's all it takes, you will lose weight. Pounds, inches. People are going to notice that you look different. You'll have more energy than you know what to do with. And I guarantee you, within 21 days, you will have turned your body into a fat-burning machine.
I ate steak, baked potatoes, vegetables, and I lost 50 pounds in 6 months.
I've lost over 115 pounds.
I've lost 35 pounds in 2.5 months. I've lost 80 pounds, and I've kept that off for almost 2 years now. It really did amaze me how fast the weight came off.
His plan is the best way to go if you like to eat.
It's limitless what you can eat.
On this plan, you get to eat.
I lost 45 pounds. I lost 80 pounds.
93 pounds in 4 months.
100 pounds. 59 pounds.
80 pounds.
93 pounds.
30 pounds.
And if you do it, you will see the results. I'm proof.
Find out how you can try Larry's Slim Down 99 program absolutely free as part of our amazing 3 for free special offer. You get visible results or you pay nothing. Details just ahead.
4 months ago, this woman was 45 pounds heavier. A year ago, this man was so heavy, his doctor told him if he didn't lose weight, he could die. This woman lost more than 90 pounds and has kept it off for 4 years. You want to look like this? You want to feel like this? You want to learn how to lose weight fast and keep it off? There's one thing you got to do.
You gotta eat.
You gotta eat.
You gotta eat.
Now you too can stop dieting and start losing weight faster than you ever thought possible with the great North American Slim Down 99. 21 days that will change your body and your life. The Slim Down is a simple-to-follow day-by-day system where you learn how to use food to turn your body into a fat-burning incinerator so you can eat more than you ever imagined and lose weight faster than you ever thought possible.
What I think is most interesting about Larry's program is not that people lose weight, but rather that people get healthy.
The heart of the program is the Lean Life Organizer, a handsome daily planner with everything you need to learn to reshape your body and keep it that way for the rest of your life. Inside is the 21-day Slim Down, a day-by-day, hour-by-hour plan for eating more often and using the right combination of foods to turn your body into an efficient fat-burning machine in only 21 days. Plus, we'll also include planner pages for the whole rest of the year. Your Lean Life Organizer also contains the North American Menu Planner. Just choose one food from each of the 3 categories, red, white, and blue, and you've got just the right combination of carbohydrates, protein, and vegetables to keep your body's fat-burning furnace running on high. There's also a restaurant guide with tips on ordering out at all your favorite restaurants, and a snack guide, a quick reference of lean foods you can find in almost any pantry, convenience store, or vending machine. Best of all, you get to eat the foods you love. The North American Cookbook will show you how virtually any meal can be prepared the North American way. You even get the 60-second workout video with dozens of simple-to-follow 1-minute muscle-building exercises and easy-to-learn aerobic activities you can do without ever changing into workout clothes. And Larry North will personally walk you through each and every day of the Slim Down on 3 audio cassettes. You get the complete system, everything you need to learn how to lose weight fast and keep it off, all for just 6 easy payments of only $19.95. But wait! Call in the next 22 minutes and take advantage of our amazing 3 for free special offer. 1. Try TV's #1 weight loss program free for a full 30 days. That's right. Lose the weight before you pay when you try the great North American Slim Down for free. 2. Get Larry's world-famous 7-day size down free. This proven quick reduction plan is designed to let you lose a whole pant or dress size in just 1 week. Perfect for when you've got to look great fast. A $29 value, it's yours free. 3. You'll also receive a free trial membership in the Everything for Less wholesale shopping service. Shop for your favorite brand name products and have them delivered to your door, all at wholesale prices. A full 90-day risk-free trial membership is yours free. That's right. Try the great North American Slim Down free. The amazing 7-day size down free. And become a privileged member of Everything for Less wholesale shopping service free. That's 3 for free. So call in the next 22 minutes. And when you call, ask your operator how you can get Larry's all-new, incredible-tasting Slim Down bars that make following Larry's program as easy as eating a chocolate bar for 50% off. So stop starving yourself. If you want to lose weight fast, you got to do one thing. So join the great North American Slim Down today.
Call in the next 22 minutes to take advantage of Larry North's amazing 3 for free special offer. Try TV's #1 weight loss system in the country for free for a full 30 days. If you don't see visible results, simply return it and your credit card will never be charged. But if you are leaner, healthier, with more energy than you've had in years, keep it. And you'll be billed just 6 easy payments of only $19.95, plus shipping and handling. But you must call in the next 22 minutes.
The program you are watching is brought to you by E4L. That's everything for less. Shop on the phone, online, on TV. Hundreds of thousands of name brand products, all at wholesale prices.
Don't pay retail. Get everything for less. It's more than our name. It's our promise.
For more than 15 years, I've been helping people lose weight fast and keep the weight off. Nothing upsets me more than when people like yourselves really do try, really do put an effort to try to lose weight, and your whole efforts end up being sabotaged because you think you're doing the right thing, but you're really using the wrong technology. Let me give you an example. This is a very popular nutrition drink that's supposed to be designed to help you lose weight. When I look at the ingredients, you know what the first 3 ingredients are? Skim milk, sugar, and cocoa, and vegetable oil. Why not just take some skim milk and put some sugar in it? Because that's what your weight loss product is. This is a Hershey's bar. This bar has 21 grams of sugar. This nutrition bar has almost twice the amount of sugar. I mean, think about it. Here's a bar, 24 grams of sugar. Do you know what? It's almost the same amount of sugar as in this Payday. All right? These aren't products that help you get lean. I could not possibly do a bar unless it was the right bar, unless it was a bar that was designed to help you lose weight. That's the difference with the Slim Down bar. I wanted good, high-quality protein. I wanted the right kind of carbohydrates. I wanted it extremely low in sugar, and I wanted it low in fat. And I will personally guarantee that these are the best-tasting nutrition bars you've ever had.
I think a fudge immediately. It's great.
I can eat these and lose weight.
Very good. Delicious.
It doesn't taste like it's good for me because it's too good.
It tastes like a candy bar. Chocolate brownies.
Tastes like fudge.
Kind of sinful tasting.
Tastes like peanut butter.
I love candy anyway, so this is perfect. I won't be eating candy. I won't be gaining weight.
But wait. Call in the next 15 minutes and take advantage of our amazing 3 for free special offer. 1. Try TV's #1 weight loss program free for a full 30 days. That's right. Lose the weight before you pay when you try the great North American Slim Down for free. 2. Get Larry's world-famous 7-day size down free. This proven quick reduction plan is designed to let you lose a whole pant or dress size in just 1 week. Perfect for when you've got to look great fast. A $29 value, it's yours free. 3. You'll also receive a free trial membership in the Everything for Less wholesale shopping service. Shop for your favorite brand name products and have them delivered to your door, all at wholesale prices. A full 90-day risk-free trial membership is yours free. That's right. Try the great North American Slim Down free. The amazing 7-day size down free. And become a privileged member of Everything for Less wholesale shopping service free. That's 3 for free. So call in the next 15 minutes.
Call in the next 15 minutes to take advantage of Larry North's amazing 3 for free special offer. Try TV's #1 weight loss system in the country for free for a full 30 days. If you don't see visible results, simply return it and your credit card will never be charged. But if you are leaner, healthier, with more energy than you've had in years, keep it. And you'll be billed just 6 easy payments of only $19.95, plus shipping and handling. But you must call in the next 15 minutes.
It took me 8 months to lose 120 pounds.
And I lost 4.5 pounds, 5 days. On a cruise. Like 6 times a day, I ate meat, potato, rice, you name it, I ate it.
In a period of 5 months, I lost 45 pounds.
And on the cruise ship, I lost 3.5 pounds. And every 3 hours, we had a great meal. Meat, potatoes, and rice, and all kinds of stuff. And if you want to lose weight, you got to eat.
All right. 203, yeah. I've lost 227 pounds, 7 of it on this cruise. When I first started on the North program, I weighed about 420 pounds. And the doctor said, look, you're either going to have to do one of 2 things. You're either going to have to lose the weight or you're going to die. I said, well, what do you suggest? He says, well, just don't eat any of the foods you like. Okay, I said, man, there's no way I can do that. And then I found out, hey, Larry North has a Great American Slim Down. I said, okay, let me try that. So I bought the program. The weight started coming off, and I met Larry, and he says, man, you got to help do an infomercial. I said, sure, why not? By the time I got to the infomercial, I'd lost 135